Welcome to another exciting edition of the Voice of the Call Nation radio show. Let me see if I can get my thing I'm wearing representing the BAIO tonight. Representing that. I'm like Superman. I'm built like Superman. Instead of like a big S on my chest, I got the BAIO shirt on my chest tonight. You know, that's how you can call me Call the superhero. But anyway, welcome to the show tonight, folks. I'm the Call Genesis, the chief host of the Voice of the Call Nation radio show. Broadcasting tonight from YouTube, and like I said, I'll stick around with YouTube as long as it's getting someplace, and I think I'm doing all right. I think it's the algorithm, the rhythm, algorithm. It's all about the algorithm, the rhythm. Negroes in the algorithm on that, the rhythm, the algorithm. Me, please, I don't give a shit about the algorithms. You know, all I know is that my message gets out there. And if somebody is, if I could just reach one person, right, the right way and turn them into a BAIO Column Nation soldier, I'm doing good, you know. So you don't have to reach a whole lot of people, just a few. All I'm looking for is a few to do this, right? A few is all you need, you know. And this idea that you got to get everybody and everything, you can't convince everybody and everything. So as long as my message is going out there and everything, and somebody's picking up what I'm saying, and acting on it and stuff like that, and living this thing, you know, breathing life to this Black nationalist movement, you know, I think I've did my job, you know. But tonight's topic is grabbing a piece of the action. The reason why I did this tonight is because they always say the most saddest thing in the world is wasted talent, you know, and missed opportunity, you know, instead of people grabbing a piece of the action, right? No matter where you're at, so long as if you're not willing to grab a piece of the action, then you are less of a man, right? You basically let some other man bluff you and punk you into not living out your dreams and getting what you want out of life and everything. So you make up an excuse that there's racism here, racism is holding me back, racism. So you don't even have an excuse not to even try. You know, like we were saying last night on the show, there's tons of opportunity out here in this world. It's a global world. But the bottom line is you got to figure out where the action is and how you're going to get a piece of it, you know? Because in the real world, right, nobody cares about your excuses. They only want to know, are you winning or are you losing? That's what it comes down to. Whether you call yourself an ADOS FBA, whether you call yourself a Pan-Africanist, whether you call yourself a Black nationalist, whatever you are, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, whatever like that. People want to know, are you winning? Do you got a plan? You know, one of the deepest things I ever said was that movie Higher Learning. He said, in the real world, nobody wants to hear empty rhetoric. They just want to know, do you got a plan? That's the real world. You got a plan. You got a plan to do something, right? To basically, so people can access and grab a piece of the action and be a player in this world. You know, the bottom line is this: we have too many people, too many young men who've given up, right? And taken what's theirs in the real world and just basically giving up on life and everything. And just, you know, it's easy to sit around on TikTok all day and sit on YouTube all day complaining about shit that they have no power over, racism, white supremacy, and all this kind of stuff like this. That's never going to get you any place. That's why I don't deal with it. I don't tolerate it in my presence and everything like that. If that's what you want to do, whatever like that, you got to go someplace else, you know, because I don't want to hear no whining and complaining anymore, you know. If you want a pity party and stuff like that and woe is me party and everything, you got to go someplace else, right? I want to know who are the winners, who are the go-getters, who are the warriors, who are the champions of progress and enlightenment and success. Those are the people I want to build something with, because I can't build nothing with any losers. You know, I want a team of winners, right? I want the winners to be part of this Black nationalist movement, right? That's the problem. The Black nationalist movement has always attracted losers in our community. I want to change that around. Where the Black nationalists are people who believe like us, the Black nationalists, and the people who believe in nation building and stuff like that are actually the winners. You know, we seem like we're smart. We got it together and stuff like that. You could do that, then basically you're on your way. We're on our way. But when it seems like the more you sell your soul, the more you sell out, the more you are prosperous and everything, that's not going to get us any place. Because one thing about the Uncle Toms, the Coons, and everything like that, they know how to grab a piece of the action. I mean, they sacrifice their dignity and everything and their decency in that process, but they know how to grab a piece of the action. What's going on, Denzel? Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up. So grabbing a piece of the action means, you stay true to yourself, right? At the same time, find out what's out here in the world and grab a piece of it. Nothing is written for anybody in stone. Don't let any group of people bluff you and thinking that you don't belong someplace or you can't get this because there's no black people in this thing, so I can't do it. And everything. No. And also, like I said, me personally, I'm moving my business into lucrative. I want to see of us grab lucrative business deals. You know what it means, lucrative, not just okay, you got something. I'm talking about a lucrative deal, something like, okay, man, I got this operation right here. I'm supplying the government with these parts and everything like that. I got a 3-year contract to do this. Boom, 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 boom. So $1 million a year, I'm getting paid off the top. Boom, boom, boom. That's lucrative. That's lucrative. That's money and business guaranteed and everything like that. All you have to do is perform your best. You your best, everything, because it's there. You're in there. You're up on the supply chain a little bit. So that's lucrative. I want to see us doing more lucrative things. You can only do that when you have that. I want to grab a piece of the action type of mentality. But if you don't have that grab a piece of the action type of mentality, you're never going to grab those lucrative deals and stuff like that. You're always going to settle for crumbs and mediocrity. And people settle for crumbs and mediocrity. Guess what? You're going to be with crumbs. That's what the problem in our community. Everybody's trying to survive off of crumbs and mediocrity. And let me tell you something. There's only so many people that could be have their own cleaning business. There's so many people, but so many people that could be let's see, what do black mean? Barbers. There's so many people that could be people who do hair. We have to start moving into more lucrative things and grabbing, like I said, a piece of the action. People don't want to hear that. They're like, I just gotta go with what I know, and I, go, yeah. What you know is somebody else could do the same thing you can. And that's what the problem you have. And now you're really under threat because, like me personally, my business is what I do for a living right now. I don't have to worry about no Mexican or anybody else taking what I'm doing because it's way on a different level. So when you want to be way on, because I decided I want a piece of the action, right? I want a piece of the real action, So the bottom line, I'm going to be someplace that, most people don't even know exists doing business, right? And so, but that's me grabbing a piece of the action. That's where the action, that the real money and real business deals and stuff like that, And so you have to say to yourself, well, how do I grab a piece of the action? Well, you got to know something about business. You study, and then what happens is you get your aha moment. Aha, aha. What does aha mean? Aha means, okay, you say you see something, an opportunity, and you see a need and everything, and you say, look, I can do this. I can supply this. I can build this like this. Let's see if there's somebody else trying to do it. Let's see if somebody need. And once you find out, yeah, there is a need for what you're trying to do, then you put your business plan together and whatnot, and you work with grant writers and banks, whatever like that, and say, hey, look, I got an idea to boom, boom, boom. And then when you win, you win big because you went for something lucrative. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Grabbing a piece of the action, or basically being a loser. I don't think most people want to be losers forever. And I'm sick and tired of Black community in America being pegged as losers. Or the only way out is entertainment, rap, and sports. I think there's more to this world out there that we could do. When I played the video of the top 20 Black business, people like, I did not know that there were people doing stuff like automobile manufacturing, Black people, and all stuff like that. I did not know. Why? Because those people saw opportunity and they wanted a piece of the action. They didn't let somebody tell them that no, this is not ready for you. Stephen Hightower or Hightower Petroleum. He was a young man. He started his petroleum transport business. He said he bought a fuel truck, and he said it was in Akron, Ohio. He said he delivered. He filled up at the refinery and delivered this fuel to several gas stations. And he said he didn't think it was real until he got that first check. It was only $100. He said, "Look, we're making money," and then they grew from there. Now he operates in several countries around the world, supplying fuel not just with trucks and stuff like that, but also through pipeline and stuff like that. Why? Because he wanted a piece of the action. He saw oil transport was a good business, right? So he said, "Look, I want a piece of the action. I want a piece of the action." And so he went for it. And now Hightower Petroleum is a company that does $400 million a year worth of revenue and sales. Have their own platinum card, and everything. So the bottom line is he went for it. He grabbed a piece of the action. He didn't let somebody tell him what can't be done. He said, "Yeah, I'm early tonight because I got to get up in the morning. I can't be on here all night tonight. I got to get up real early in the morning because the people are supposed to come to move my stuff today. They didn't make it because the moving truck got into an accident, so they're gonna come early tomorrow morning. So I'm just like not happy about that. And then I got a call blitz, so all day I'm gonna be busy. So I'm gonna by the time I get home tomorrow night, I'm gonna be crashed out. What's tomorrow? Tuesday. I'm gonna be crashed out. So I don't think I'm doing a show tomorrow night. Tomorrow Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday. Because after tomorrow I gotta get up in the morning. Let the movers in. When the movers then, I got a couple of people that's gonna stay there. I got to go to the library because people aren't ready to move the call blitz from the office, so I still got to use the library. Go to the library to stay there till like 4:00 with the call blitz and everything like that. And I got to handle some contracting for an agent and all the stuff like this. And then when I'm done at 4:00, I go home. I crash out and I'm going to sleep. But yeah, so I said tonight, look, I'm gonna give a few hours tonight, but I gotta start early tonight. Start early because I want to be done early. If I could do, let's see, we start at 9. If I could be done by 2:00, that's what 5 hours. 5 hours, probably 5 hours, or 1:30, 4.5 hours, something like that. I'm good tonight. I guess you want me to take a picture of my new office? Yeah, I'll get up. Next time I do the show, I'll have pictures of my new office. If people want to see it. When the computers and everything's in there. I have 20 computers, and cubicles and everything like that. So I'll take pictures of it. People want to see it. People want to see the office. I got pictures now in my old office. People want to see that. I got pictures and videos of my old office and everything like that. But that office was smaller. It was like a clusterfuck right there, but it was nice. I was there for 7 years. It was nice. But this is a whole different level right now. So I'm moving up into a whole different category. The people I talk to now that I want to do business with, I want to be like this. Yeah, we're ready. We're set up. We have the team. We have the manpower, and we have the best agency in the state to handle your business and your clients. I believe in being the best. Whatever I go to do, I'm trying to be the best. Yeah, I have 20 computers. I'm like a mid-size, all desktop and everything like that, and so like 20, it's like 20 computers in the office, So yes, I'm into, I could call myself a business ITC, information communication technology, and the ICT thing I do is we do healthcare and healthcare plans and healthcare health providers and stuff like that. We put networks together and stuff like that. We get people enrolled in different healthcare plans. We do employer healthcare coverage plans and stuff like that. But it's a lot of technology involved, because people, like I said, when we do enrollments and people want to sign up or add something on, you got to have the technology. Nothing's done by paper anymore. So you got to be really good in technology. And I'm learning my technology my damn self right now, because I'm not that good at technology, but I have agents under me that are freaking phenomenal. That's the thing about my business, right? I'm getting all this skill thing, because I got agents that I train how to sell. But the thing is, they're bringing skills to the table. Like my flyer brochure that I just did today. One of my agents did that. My downline agents did that. Because they know how to do the Microsoft, Adobe, and the Canvas. Whatnot. We take different images and everything. She has our on the brochure. She has our logo, everything like that. What we do, everything was great. And so the bottom line is, when you happy. And my little niece, she's a photographer. So anytime we need photography work done, stuff like that, she always does all our headshots and everything like that. And everything. She does pictures. So she's really good. When we had our annual bowling event 2 weeks ago, my niece took pictures of that and put it on our Facebook website and everything like that. And so we got skilled. My niece is a photographer. She's an agent too, insurance. She does insurance too, but she mostly does photography. But anytime we need anything done, a photography layout done or something like that, she makes our business cards for us and everything like that. So just having people in your organization that got skills like that is really fun. Rather than me going to somebody and paying for all this, we got people in our agency that know how to do all this stuff already. So that's great right there. So we're blessed like that. Yeah, we have the tech guy that we had set up our stuff. When we first moved into this office space years ago, he was good, but he disappeared on us, right? And I believe, right? Something? He did. When he disappeared? He disappeared right after that January 6th thing happened, because he was a sort of right wing type of guy and whatnot. He was like, yeah, this election was false and all that stuff like that. He was part of that QAnon thing, whatever like that. So basically, he said he was going to DC. And everything. He said he was going to DC to protest and whatnot. We never heard nothing back from him then. But we're moving stuff over to office. We don't have nothing to install on the computers. All we need to do is just, plug everything in. That's all we have to do. Our tech guy, so we have other people that come and do our tech, but our real tech guy, man, this guy was really good. But we haven't seen him since that January 6th, and we all suspect that he got arrested in the sweep, January 6th. That's our tech guy, But so people say, "Well, aren't you living in a black tech, black city?" Well, when you get black people that like it, I got a lot of black people on our network that we do stuff with, but technology, tech being tech and stuff like that. Savvy is not one of them. This guy knows his shit. I say, look, I need this. Boom, 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 boom. He goes back there. Blip, 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 blip. Okay, here's the problem right here. Blip, 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 blip. You know who's good at that? Bomani. Now over the last year, I paid Bomani and stuff like that, and to get him advice on technology. He's really good. Bomani's really good. He does a lot of stuff on remote where he can go, and I send him a thing. He sends me a thing where he has control of my computer and he goes in and fix stuff and stuff like that. So Bomani's really been good as far as like helping me out as far as like my technology manager, because he's really into technology and everything like that. Bomani Technologies, he's really good. Bomani's really good. I recommend anybody that has technology issues, contact Bomani. He's really good. But so tonight's show is about grabbing a piece of the action. Depends on what you want to do and where you see yourself at, is grab a piece of action. I think Romani has real certification. He's the real thing as far as like technology, information and technology. He's definitely the real thing. He's very good. Really good. He don't work for free now. He don't work free, but it's cheap though. But he don't work for free. But you just cash app him the money, boom, boom, boom. He'll take care of your shit. That's the sort of networking I want to see. I always promote Romani because he proved himself to me. I won't be saying that just because we're friends. I'm saying it because he's good. He helped me out in my business. He showed me how to use MailChimp and stuff like that. I forgot everything. So he's going to have to re-show me again. Once we get into the office, I think I'm going to send out MailChimp campaigns again and whatnot. And I have to pay Bomani again. Look, you need to show me this again, because I forgot how to do it. I try to go in there. I don't know what the frick I'm doing, So he'll have to show me again how to do this thing, MailChimp again. I send out campaigns, email campaigns, and everything. 'Cause I forgot. I forgot just that quick. I forgot. But yeah. So technology is everything. If you don't have technology, you know, Barwani, why you gotta go there? At least a Jamaican. He's not a tether. Barwani is pro-black. That's why I say he's a black nationalist. He's not a Jamaican tether. I don't believe in all that stupid shit. Bomani is a freaking black man. He's first and foremost black. And so the bottom line, we talk to each other as two black men, two brothers. That's how we talk. I don't see him as a Jamaican. I know we have our differences here and there, but I don't see him as a Jamaican and blah, blah, blah. What the fuck difference does it make, And we both believe the same thing, both believe the same thing. We both have the same enemies. We both have the same wants and desires and everything. How the hell are we enemies, I don't play us up. I'm not Tariq Nasheed, bro. I think you're out of line there, Bwana, man. I don't give a shit about that friggin' FBA 8 or shit. If you're cool, you're cool. You're not, you're not. That's why I go judge people by. If you're cool, I'll rock with you. You're not, I don't care if. That's why these people in the chat room last night talking about Kyler's always throwing Black America under the bus. He hates Black America. He talking about Black America. Well, what about? You don't say that when I talk about Africans. I call Africans. Say something about them too, People say Kyle's flip blocking me all the time. I'm not flip blocking. I'm just telling you how I see it. I call it like I see it. If you're cooning and you're buck dancing, I don't give a damn if you're a Black American. I don't give a damn if you're a Jamaican or hate whatever you are. If you're buck dancing and you're being a Sambo, I'm gonna say you're a buck dancing and being a Sambo. What's going on, wise brother? So I don't care about your background and whatnot. I know for a fact that there's a lot of so-called African Americans. I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them. They're absolutely useless. And there's some Africans that are absolutely useless. But I'm trying to dig through the mud and everything to look like we say we peel through the dirt and whatnot, and you try to find that diamond in the dirt. That's what I'm trying to look for. I'm trying to peel through all the dirt and the filth and everything, and basically find the diamonds in the rock, and pick those diamonds out and use them. That's what I'm looking for. Because this, like I said, social media, you get everybody coming on here. Now everybody is useful to me. But I will find the people that's really serious about a revolution and serious about building stuff on that. One of the things that I look at is, like I said, what is your action? People. One thing we did in the BAO years ago, even on our website, is that we always ask people, well, what do you do for a living? And people, well, I'm what is that? And if a person can't tell me like a real career, a real plan, I know that I'm just dealing with a clown, I'll say, okay, I had this one guy, one of my boys, Mike Ford, even though we had a falling out, right? When I first got on, asked Mufasa about him, right? He was like, he changed his name to Mahal instead of Michael's Mahal now, whatever, like that. But he was a cool brother, right? But he was like one of my first students when I got on Blog Talk Radio 16 years ago. And he basically was like, Colin, let me tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, Colin. I have no career, my wife and I, he's a good brother, man, bigger brother. He says, my wife and I live on government controlled housing and everything like that. And he goes, I feel bad when you ask people about what they do. He said, I don't really have a job and everything like that. I said, what do you want to do? He says, I want to get into STEM fields and everything. Guess what? You know what he did? The next day, he went and enrolled in a program of STEM and quantum physics and whatever he was doing, right? And also a few months later, he sent me the certificate how he graduated top of his class. When I said, "Man, there you go." And now he's like, from what I'm hearing, he got a good job now, making real good money and everything because he was inspired by what I said. I said it may have hurt him when I said you can't be a man and not have any goals or anything like that, right? And so he put himself up, maybe been harsh, right? But isn't that better than somebody taking somebody's money all the time? Yeah, you could be doing nothing with your life so long as you send me that donation or that cash app, everything's all right. No, it's not all right. I want to see if you confide in me and as somebody you listen to and everything like that. I'm going to ask you, what do you do for a living? What do you do? What are you doing with your time? How are you in production? Are you trying to grab a piece of the action? Because those are the people I realize I can build something with. People who have something to lose, something to gain, who want something to gain, but knows they got everything to lose if they don't do that. What they do is right. So I always ask people, what do you do? Okay, if you don't have anything going on right now, what do you want to do? I can't put it clear that at least have an idea of what you want to do. I had this one guy, man, but what's his name? Quazalim, right? And here in BAL. If you go to BAL social network, you'll see some of his posts up there. The kid all day and all night, all that does is send me stupid articles on this, the latest racial incident. I said, Quazalim, right? He's 30 years old, live with his mom, whatnot, no job, no nothing like that. Talking about, I want to be a mechanic. I said, go for it. He's like, well, blah, blah, blah. So he was about, I want to move to Africa. I said, well, you ain't got no skills, no nothing. How you gonna go to the continent, And so he was supposed to get into some welding. He said, I want to get into welding. I want to get into this. And basically a year go by, man, he hasn't done shit, man. I'm like, yo, Quazalim, man. And so basically what happened was he just stopped talking to me, whatever like that, because he knows even I'm being friendly with him, right? Friendly with him. He knows in the back of my mind what I'm saying. It's basically, okay, we agree. The white man's a scrub. I get the white man's a scrub. I understand that. Yeah, life is tough out there. Yeah, police brutality is real. Okay, I get that. But the fact of the matter is, what are you doing with your life? You got no car, you have no job, you live with your mom, whatnot, and you're in your 30s now. That's a bigger problem. That's a bigger problem than what you telling me about what the white man did. Yeah. I was trying to hold him accountable to himself, and do they want to hear that? Yeah, he didn't want to hear that. It's playing games. I can't. I don't have time for that no more. Like people tell me, "Why haven't you built the BAIO? Why did you? Where's the Afristan?" If you know what I've been dealing with over the last 10 years or whatever like that, just people coming in, wasting my time. Just this tomfoolery and foolishness and everything like that. And I got to the point I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Do we have any real? Not just real men. Do we have any real women or anybody in our community that's about something? And the answer most likely is no, because nobody wants to grab a piece of the action. All they want to do is sit around. It's easy to sit around and complain about racism, white supremacy. We mastered that. We mastered the idea of, the white man's racist and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, dude, you're not going to get an argument out of nobody for that. But what doesn't mean that doesn't put I'm not into the. I was into the stock market. I had Scottrade. I was into the stock market when my father was alive, right? I had a Scottrade account, right? I made some money off it. Then what happened was, right before he died, the stock market really crashed in in 08. And so I was actually, my father knew how to read the tickers and everything. I never really learned it, but I gave my account to my father, and he was making a lot of money. He said, "Look, man, boom, boom, boom." He was going there and bet. So my father loved doing stuff like that. He always was playing lottery. He was good at numbers. Father was good at numbers on that. He would sit there and watch the stock all day and whatnot. Stuff going up and down and whatnot. He bid and whatnot. So I put an account in there, a couple $1,000, let him play with. He grew that account. That was back in 2008. Back in 2008, my father passed away in 2009. And I haven't really gone back to that account. I still got the account, but I don't know if there's any money left in there and anything like that. But I haven't revisited that. I do want to revisit the stock market and everything. But stock market, you really got to know what you're doing. You got to be committed. You can't just, it ain't for the faint of heart, whatever like that. You really got to know what you're doing with the stock market to make money on the stock market. But there is a lot of money in stock, exchange trade funds, option trading. That's what I was going to move into, option trading, option trading and stuff like that. Really a lot of money. Sooner or later, I'm going to get into that, because when I start my business really start making money, I'm going to need some place to invest. And I got to get me a good stockbroker, and the option trading is the best. Option trading and ETFs, exchange traded funds, are the best. Not just regular stock, but ETFs and option trading. ETFs and option. Now, option is good too. It depends on what you're buying. What the options are: oil, copper, silver. Copper futures, rubber futures, whatever like that. So oil future option trading is also good too, along with ETFs. So. But like I said, I can't commit to that yet. I would love. We had people in the BAO years ago that came in and was teaching us about stocks and everything. When our organization BAO split, when that, everything got into a disarray. Yeah, options. You gotta know what you're doing. That's why I said, if I had somebody that knew option trading, a person that knew option trading, it'd be great because they could sit there and educate the rest of us how to do it. That's what that's what I said. The problem is, in Black people, we don't want to work together. We just basically like we just want to do things for ourselves or whatever like that, and you don't want to say like this because nobody wants to end up like another Jay Morris or Boyce Watkins or whatever, a failure. People losing people. That's another thing. People are scared to venture out there because they're scared of failure. They're scared of being ostracized and whatnot, like which we call Yvette Carnell. See, I told you Jay Morris is going to be a failure. No, I don't think. I think he made some mistakes or anything, but the gist of what he was doing was right with the real estate and the crowdfunding and stuff like that. That was right. It's an excellent way how to raise capital and money and stuff like that. Here comes Baruti again. Kala, how and when do you think a significant number of Black people, actually men, begin the roadmap to do with their lives? I don't know. Like I said, we have a thing in Black America called arrested development. That means Black men in America, and unlike other places, right? In America, not just Black people, white people too, right? We basically, our youth and childhood is prolonged longer, right? That's what's called arrested development, right? Whereas you see people from foreign countries, by the time they're 14, 15, they're already into adulthood. So they make adult decisions and stuff like that. The Black people, our people in America, Black and white, particularly Black people, they want to stay kids forever. They're 22, 23 years old and don't want to do anything with their lives. They want to build nothing. They're not serious about anything and everything. They just want to play video games all day and do all this kind of foolishness and everything. But, and so you try to build a movement with these people and it's like, it's not happening, So that's what, like I said about the young guy. 30 years old, man. I said, look, I expect more out of you right now. You need to build. You say you want to be a welder. Oh, I'm going to get that welding certificate. I'm going to go, okay. When are you going to do it? Well, it's coming. I think I want to do this too. I say, yeah, well, the welding thing will get you paid right now, And he didn't do nothing, and basically still just basically putting out videos and uploading videos about racism, always talking about Africa all the time. I said, what are you going to do in Africa? Right? You ain't got no skills, no real education, no nothing and whatnot, And that's what I'm getting tired of. I'm tired of people not telling these people the truth. They think they're going to go over to the African continent and build a life, and they have no skills, no anything to offer the continent. It's hard enough when you do got education and you are connected or whatever. That's hard enough then, but you talking about going someplace with no education, no skills, no trade, no nothing, and you're just gonna go over to the continent because it's cool because you're constantly 24 hours a day talking about racism in America. That's foolishness. I can't co-sign that. Somebody tell you, I'm going to Africa. Okay, what are you going for? I don't know, cause I thought you was down with it. Yeah, I'm down with it, but I don't like people making fools out of themselves, ruin their life. And if you go to do that, right, don't say I sent you. Don't tell me don't anybody tell me I advise anybody to go to the continent and everything before they're prepared and stuff like that. I never did that. You know, it was up to me. I tell you all, stay right here, stay your black asses right here in America and get your shit together, you know? And if you want to take a trip over to the continent, go on vacation, stuff like that, you know? And then if you do find something lucrative over there, which is few and far between, then you could probably make the move to transition onto the continent, you know? If there's opportunity. If there's no opportunity, you do not go and try to move to the continent. You know, that's what I believe. That's just being smart. And the bottom line is this: in this movement right here, we do not have smart people guiding people. You know, we have outright idiots advising people about something dramatic as moving from a first world country to a third world country, ill prepared. You know, what kind of person in your heart would tell somebody to do that? You know, and tell them, oh yeah, he'll be all right in Africa. You'll be all right. Are you going to be guaranteed that? Are you going to be there? Can he call you for money, whatever like that? And by the way, when he falls on hard times, no. So why are you advising him to go over there? Do you have a support system on the ground, which people you could take people in and give them shelter and everything like that for at least a year before they get on their feet? No, nothing's set up. Nothing's set up. Well, that makes like sense, Carl. That's what other people do. When they come to another country, they plug into a network of people who have a place for them to stay. Oh yeah, you can work on this person's job right here and everything just to get on their feet. You know, and but it might take a year. After a year, they do the same thing. They put money into the pot, and somebody else could come over and live. That's what the foreigners do. You know. Yeah. So yeah, crazy. So Africa's there. Africa's not a safe haven. Yeah, it's a hostile environment, very dangerous environment. Yeah, I'm gonna lie to people. I'm not gonna lie to people. There are through a Pan African. Yeah, I'm a realist. I'm never gonna lie to people and tell you, okay, you could just bum rush the coast and all your problems gonna be solved once you get to the African shores. No, no, your problem just be because the problem, whatever you're running from, not only will it follow you over there, it's waiting for you over there. The problems that you think that you're leaving America for is waiting for you over in the continent. That's what you see with the Bag family. Well, tell me about the Bag family. The Bag family. They're doing really bad right now. They was living in poverty in Tennessee. Now the same poverty, misery, and unhappiness that they experienced back in Tennessee, it not followed them there. It was waiting for them. Hey, when you basically don't plan or you're not really smart and everything, you're not a winner and everything like that. The same problem that you basically think you're leaving is waiting for you, not just following you there. It's waiting for you. You know, you think I'm leaving America. I'm going to start a new life. No, that problem that you try to escape from is waiting for you on the shores of West Africa because you're the fool. You know, you didn't do everything right. You thought in America, they tell you to get a skill, get a job, do this stuff like that, obey the law and everything like this. So all those rules are going to apply to every place you go to, you know? So Buana says, I blame Daddy Bag. He turned to be a dirt. Yes, Rick is a freaking scumbag, you know? He's out there throwing his children under the bus. Well, y'all don't want to be here. And it's more about his ego and his pride because he chose bad. He chose a life one because he didn't have a life in America because he has a criminal record and everything. So he's going to drag his kids into his mess, you know? And so therefore he's dragging people into his mess and everything. Giving like, yeah, y'all over in America, y'all can get shot by police. Like we're all sitting around waiting to get shot by the police and everything like that. You know, so that's stupid shit it's talking about, you know. Rick and Cynthia never grabbed a piece of the action, right? If they grabbed a piece of the action in America and they were successful in America, they could have probably went to the Gambia, right? Because if you're successful in America, you'll be successful in Africa. If you're a failure in America, I'm telling you by the 100th power, you're going to fail in Africa. You know, I'm telling you that for a fact. I don't believe in this. Oh yeah, like Akon said, oh, just come to Africa, you'll be a millionaire overnight. You got people out there, yes. I listen to Akon and whatnot. You really serious? You listen to this fucking fool. You know, Akon made his money initially robbing cars, you know, and robbing expensive cars and whatnot, you know. That's how he basically started his rap career off, and bought the equipment and everything for his own studio. He was robbing cars, car thief. He had a car theft ring. And that's who you're following to the continent to build a city with? Are you sick? Are you stupid? Are you dumb? Are you that freaking stupid? Like I said, grabbing a piece of the action, People who grab a piece of the action is not going to fall for ignorance and stupidity and stuff like that, like an Akon scam. Brewery says, Kyle Cures, why do you appear to frown upon questions or comments prior to reading them? Do you not view them as a serious thought? Well, it depends. A lot of your questions are repetitive, I think I answered them, I don't frown upon them or not, but you asked me the same thing. You asked me about Ubuntu 24 hours. How many times you going to ask me about Ubuntu? I'm like, it's irrelevant, it's irrelevant to us, in America and Black America and everything, whatever. It's irrelevant. Till we have infrastructure and real opportunity, and Ubuntu means absolutely nothing. It's going nowhere. Akon's a multimillionaire, but the bottom line is this. There's a lot of people. Stephen Fetcher was a multimillionaire. Should we listen to him? Steve Harvey is a multimillionaire. Should I go listen to him? So that's your case, Buana. Why don't I go ahead and listen to D.L. Hughley, Why don't I go ahead and listen to Luke Campbell? They're all millionaires and whatnot, So the bottom line is, so what the hell do we have to, somebody being a millionaire have to do with anything? You're a fool. I mean, that's good that he's a millionaire, but the bottom line is that don't mean that you're going to become a millionaire. You're going to do like this. And also, why is it that he's targeting my people for this shit, And he said Nigeria, how smart Nigerians are. How come he didn't say Akon City's target? I'm going to reach out to Nigerians when I build this. Why Black Americans, Because he knows Nigerians see him coming. Nigerians know, man, this is bullshit. He knows that. He knows Black Americans got no recourse. He knows they can't do nothing because a lot of them will go over here and basically renounce their U.S. citizenship because the U.S. government can't step in if something happens and everything like that. And so they know you're going to be completely at his mercy if you, as a Black American, go over to his Akon said. He don't want that with Nigerians. So he knows what will happen if they get screwed over, or somebody from Burkina Faso. Imagine that, Those people can fight back on the continent. We can't, So of course he's going to reach out to us. Some Black Americans come over. You'll be like this dude. No. I think I know what's best for our people. And Akon dealing with a fool like that is not one of them, And so the bottom line is this. I think he's way out of line talking directly to our people like that without even consulting Black nationalists in the community and everything. So let me give a round table of Black nationalists and people like who study this idea of repatriation and stuff like that. Let me talk to them and everything. He did talk to R.J. Mahdi. That dude's a crook. He's a clown. He did talk to R.J. Mahdi. I give him that. And so, but the bottom line is everything R.J. Mahdi in Senegal turned to shit. They got people out there losing tens of thousands of dollars investing in R.J. Mahdi. Come to find out the shit's not worth anything. So these are the type of people Akon is surrounded with, like I said, we grab a piece of the action. You got to know where the action is, and you got to know how to delay gratification and also manage expectations. You got to know how to manage and maintain expectations. If you don't know how to do that, you're going to be taking all the time. You're going to use emotion, to make a decision. You never use emotion to make a city. And like I said, I got my BAIO shirt on tonight. Everybody, so I got my BAO shirt on tonight. Pretty soon I'm going to have these up on here where you can order them, real nice shirts. I'm going to have it so you can order them online, whatever like that, wear the BAO shirt. If you support this organization and the mission, what we're doing, you can buy it, Yeah, you got to go where the action is, and you got to be plugged into where the action is at. And grab a piece of it, because let me tell you something. People that come here, and people always say this, like, White guys, they always say, "Well, geez, the Mexicans are doing the work, whatever. Like, why can't black people? Why? Because after a certain job, I'm doing my family myself. I didn't want to work in with my father had a good job. He raised a family working in a chemical plant. I didn't want that. I wanted a piece of the action. That's every generation. Yeah, it's not a slight to my father, but I didn't want to follow his. Listen, a lot of people my age, Gen Xers, we were like that. We were like, yo, look, I don't want to be just an ordinary worker the rest of my life, whatever like that. Well, I'm looking at it in hindsight, I'm looking at it now, right? If it was enough of us that basically wanted to do those blue collar jobs for another generation, Black America would be more stable right now. So we gave the impression that we want college degrees, we want business loans, we want a piece of the action. So America responded like, Either you're going to take these jobs we give you, and you're going to work these jobs on the low end. That's it. That's your only place in America. And then our generation said, no, we want a piece of the action. So we produced the Sean Combs, the Master P's, the Carl Kanais, and all these other people. Right? They wanted a piece of the action. They saw all this going on in America. They wanted a piece of the action, And so therefore, we rejected the just a blue collar future for ourselves and whatnot, because we wanted a bit to be self-employed. In my 20s, I always had my own business. I look at it now, man. What if I would have listened to my uncles and my father one night and took the civil service test in New York City? I could be in New York right now all this time. We're getting ready to retire. In the sanitation department or the bus department. I could have did that. Took the civil service. I was pretty smart. I could have scored high on a civil service exam, But no, I wanted a piece of the action. I wanted to be a businessman. I wanted to be Donald Trump, I seen Donald Trump and Marla Maples at the time say, I want to be that. That's who I want to be. Then you got Puff Daddy and all these other people, these rappers talking about the millions and Cristal and everything, Yeah, I could have been an NYPD cop, I have relatives in the NYPD. I could have been on it. I didn't want to do all that. I wanted a piece of the action. I wanted to be rich. I wanted to be a business person. That's what I wanted. But I had unrealistic expectations. Maybe, I don't know. I look at it now, like I said, I had unrealistic expectations, Rui says, Kala, I ask questions or make comments to engage your intellect. No subject, including Ubuntu, which you've seen a little about, are irrelevant. Well, I do know this, brother. You may like the area and that area you don't think. No, I'm just saying everything about you is Ubuntu. What's the difference between you and somebody saying, Kala, black people need Jesus? Kala, black people need Muhammad. It's the same thing. You're trying to sell me a religion. That means nothing. It doesn't have any reflection on our reality. Ubuntu has no reflection on our current reality. That's just like saying, okay, we need to practice voodoo. We need to practice Catholicism and everything, I'm not going to put my name out, because if you really want to know what my name on company is, you can send me an email and I'll send you a link, I'm not going to put it up publicly. I'm not going to I did that before and I just a mess. People started sending screenshots and clips from my show or whatever like that, saying you were this guy right here and trying to talk to my clients and everything like that, so I don't know what this. Hey, Jonathan, you got to give me your company's name too. You give me your company's name and email. Through email, you email me, and I'll email you my company's name. How about that? So that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I just don't trust people no more. Baruti, don't take things too personally. Let's talk like men for men and stay on men. Yeah. So. Wise man said, "Don't do it, Colin." I don't know. See, people like, "What do you do, Colin?" I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just real ridiculous. You got to go through all that stuff like that. I like to keep my business and everything separate from this. So yeah. So I don't know. I just don't think it's this. So I wish we were a civilized group of people. I would love to put my information up here and say, this is what I do and everything. But I know Negroes when I did that before and whatnot. Next thing you know, They're trying to call my partners up and whatnot, and do all kinds of stupid, ignorant shit. They went on Yelp and gave me a bad review and shit. Saying this guy's a black supremacist, racist, whatever like that. Trust me, I've been through this shit before. Luckily, nothing came out of it because I called all my partners and said, look, this is bullshit. I fuck around the internet when blah, blah, blah. And they said, okay, yeah. And why? Because I make them so much friggin' money, they don't really give a damn. But I don't want to go through that again. When I'm making people money, really, when you make people money and they're doing real business with you and whatnot, they don't give a shit about all this stuff like this. People say, I'm going to basically expose you, Carla, and whatnot. And people are like, yeah, whatever, whatever. I'm like, look, it is what it is. I did say some things, whatever, okay, let's get back to work, get back to business, that's how it usually is. Yeah. So it is. I learned a lot, I learned a lot online, man. The people online, man, just the lowest sort of people, not saying anything about anybody personally, but you got a lot of low lives out here, man. It's no damn good. I would never think of doing something like that. If I disagree with somebody and go to that business, I'm too busy building my shit up, and winning on my own. I don't need to sit there and talk to find out what somebody else is doing and try to mess them up or whatever like that. It's not in me. I don't understand why people are like that. See, when you're winning, when you're a winner in life or not, you want to see you naturally want to see other people win. You want to be around winners. You want to be around winners, like a circle of winners. People are winning and everything like that. When you're out there winning and people are winning and you're out there chilling out with winners and whatnot, ain't nothing like that feeling in the world, and losers don't understand that because they're always around misery merchants and people who are miserable and people who don't got shit in life and whatnot, but complaining and everything. And so therefore everything's a challenge to them. Everything's a problem to them and whatnot, and they're not winning. I'm trying to win. The winners do think differently. And I'm a winner, I'm a winner, when you're winning, you got a winning mentality. You got a boss or leadership mentality, you want to see things right and everything like that. You steer people on the right path, So Akon's a millionaire. So why listen to him? Akon have his resources. Akon don't have his resources. Yeah, I don't have his resources. You're right. That's right about that. But go ahead and follow Akon. Go ahead. I will tell anybody listen to this right here. Go ahead and send your money to Akon. Go over to Akon City, Akon City, and everything like that. If you don't believe in what I'm saying, if that's the threshold of thing is that he's rich and he must know what he's talking about, so that's what you want to believe that nonsense he's talking about everything because he's got money and everything. Hey, go right ahead. I can't stop you. People are grown people. All I know is I'm not going to be involved with Akon or anything like that. If somebody wants to get involved with, I want to go to Akon City. You ain't going there because deep down in your gut, there's something not right about all this shit. So something's not right. Something's not right. What, as far as like grabbing a piece of the action, what action did he offer you in Akon City? Can you buy into stock into it? Can you open a business and everything? Everything seems like crypto. Everything's there is be controlled by him. So all the money that you spend there when that. So how do people make money? How do they make a living? Every place you go to, you got to have employment and a job. Where the jobs at? No one ever talks about stuff like that. What's the healthcare system going to be like? What's the education system going to be like? These are questions that we talk about in the BAO all the time. But this Akon come up with a thing, and you got people actually supporting him with no friggin' transparency whatsoever. But he got money though, so Kala, and he got more money than you, Kala, so he's more legitimate. That's the mentality about people. It's just basically a sad situation. He got money, he got millions of dollars, as his disposal, and billionaires, whatever like that, Hey, fine, but one thing he'll never have is my support, Simple as that, Simple as that. You'll never have my support. People can't say, like, they'll look at it and say, that's what people do. They'll look around and say, well, let me see what other people who have a voice in this movement are saying. When they turn on me, hey, I'm dead set against it. Okay. Turn on somebody else, most people are dead set against it. And people are like, you know something? Something might be right about it. Collar said this, and Boom Boom said this, he said this, he said this. I think I'm gonna stay away from that, and don't be fooled. These platforms right here are very, very effective, because like I said, people don't know. They're like this. If I was up here every night saying, yeah, man, hey, we got to invest in Akon City and whatnot, yeah, there would be a lot of people out there saying, well, there's no opposition. Carlos supports it. Diane supports it. Brandon supports it. That's very powerful. And next thing you know, people are like giving their money to this guy and messing their life up. But since we really don't really F with him like that and everything, or just saying, well, we don't think so, whatever like that, we scrutinize him, that makes people stop and think. At least they're warned. And people like this, well, if I do this, I can't blame it on Dynas or Collar because they said this right here. People want to be stupid, but they always want to have somebody to blame it on when it goes wrong. That's what they will always want. They always want, okay, I know it's stupid, whatever like that, but since I can't take any responsibility for myself, right? I'm going to say, yeah, I was listening to Collar and he said, blah, blah, blah. That's why I got into it. People always accuse me of shit like that. Like Nagmezi always like, oh, Collar, man, why? I said, I never once told nobody to go to the African continent. You never heard me say that. I say, yeah, we should be involved in Africa. How we involved? That's just the same way white people are involved with the continent. That's our ancestral homeland. Yeah, we should have some more sort of attachment somewhere on the continent. That's just natural. But I never once tell somebody that you got to stop what you're doing in America, give it your career and everything you know, and take on a new identity on the continent. I never said that. I never implied that either. So anybody who says that I said that is lying. That's one of the reasons why I fell out with Nagmezi, because he kept trying to put that on me. Let's see. What is Baruti saying? Baruti is on rare form tonight, man. He's coming at me. He says, Juana, I'm not sure what you made of your last comment about me saying staying on message, but Collar has a jackass attitude towards others. He's intelligent, so I listen to him. Well, appreciate that, brother. I don't have a jackass attitude. I'm just basically like this, at this critical point in time, I do not want people thinking that just doing little trinkets and stuff like that is going to work. We're past that. We heard all this before. Ubuntu and Kumbaya, Kwanzaa, and all this stuff like that. And all that stuff, everything that was said had not made a damn bit of difference in Black America. We know about all this stuff like this, the Ubuntu and everything, so we can't, so I can't tell people, yes, we got to do Ubuntu and how are we going to do that? We live in America, a capitalist society and everything. America is highly individualistic. How are we going to basically create a new culture? We're going to do it online, We're going to meet somewhere and do this, but we're going to practice this new culture, Ubuntu culture at. Where is it going to be practiced at? On businesses that we don't control, on jobs we don't control, in schools we don't control. Where is it supposed to be practiced at? Does anybody like Baruti ever think about that? Where exactly is this Ubuntu going to be practiced at? Other than meeting on Tuesday nights once a week and y'all sitting around the fetal position practicing Ubuntu. Yeah, Ubuntu, brother. Hey, brother Collar, Ubuntu. Hey, brother Buana, Ubuntu. You just sit there and say Ubuntu, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. And then you learn some new Shnagalaga language and whatnot, Okay, tonight's lesson in Shnagalaga, is such and such. Shnagalaga means dog. Shnagalaga it means cat. Shnagalaga means mouse. And they learn some new Shnagalaga language and whatnot. But yet we're feeling good, right? We're practicing Ubuntu. We're all sitting around in a circle. And we're basically doing absolutely nothing, but we're making us so we feel better about ourselves. I think I've had enough, man. I've been down that road before. I've been there, done that, you know? Yeah, Ubuntu. Yeah, what you call it? Yeah. Where's Ubuntu when basically you can't walk down the streets of Philadelphia without getting shot? Can Ubuntu save you from a bullet, you know, brother Baruti? No. You know, will it stop you from getting carjacked? No. You know, will it stop females from out here from hoeing and setting you up and everything kind of stuff like that? No. You know, not a damn thing is going to change. The only thing that works is FTA with black people, foot to ass. I believe in FTA. People that FBA, I believe in FTA, foot to ass. When you break your foot off a Negro's ass, whatnot, then you get more done than sitting around talking about Ubuntu. Ubuntu, let's feel good, you know. We're all Bantu now. We don't call ourselves African American. Let's call ourselves Bantu now. Oh, that really makes a lot of difference when that. Whoa, man, man, if I would have known that, man. Had we been calling ourselves Bantu and practicing Ubuntu 50 years ago, man, we'd all be billionaires and whatnot, you know. So basically, I'm just trying to tell you, man. You know, you're a good brother, man. But you know, Black America's a tough place, man. You know, it's a real tough place. You know, we don't have time to learn a Shnagalaga language and whatnot and all this stuff like this. It just doesn't work. You know, Black people in America want a piece of the action, but they just basically don't know how to get it because the people that's running Black America are all about themselves. If they have to sell us out, yeah, look, the Black so-called leadership, who is now the entertainers, is clear. The entertainers and everybody are the so-called leaders. That's what they're paying for. You think of Wanaman, to your point, to my point about your point. You know, do you really think Akon is a millionaire because he's talented? No. No, that nigga's a freaking, he sold his soul. Every one of these rappers and entertainers, none of them have real talent. They're all right and everything, but not worth no freaking millions of dollars. When they got millions of dollars because when the time comes, they're like, yo, come here, 50? You better come on down here and do it. Then he comes out, yo, shorty, it's your birthday. That's right, nigga. You better get out there and say, what we say about that? 50 came out completely for Biden last time, you know? Why? Because he got the phone call. Look, nigga, 50, you better get your black ass out there. And they had Chesley Hamlin saying, yo, 50, if you want another ride in the crowd with this white skin and everything, that was too much for 50 to pass up. He's going to have another romp with Kelly Handler, whatever her name is, Chelsea Handler, whatever her name is, and getting close to the white man and everything. That was just too much to friggin' to pass up. So 50 was like, yes, a bossa. He was yes, a Boston, you know. The only one that has not cracked into their will is Mike Tyson, you know. Mike Tyson said, yo, man, I remember that. Donald Trump was the only one that stuck by Mike Tyson when he went to jail and whatnot. He said, I believe Mike. You know, then when he got out, he gave him a big fight in Atlantic City. They were trying to destroy his career. Donald Trump said, no, I think Mike is a good person and whatnot. I'm going to give him a shot, you know. And so bottom line is this, even though that the Central Park thing happened and whatnot, I remember that. He basically was the only one that Black America completely wrote Mike Tyson off. You know? Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, what you call it. So yeah, bottom line is these people ain't these leaders, so-called leaders ain't my friend. They controlled by people who got big money. They tell these people what to say, you know? And no amount of Ubuntu is going to change that. Until you got Ubuntu got billions of dollars behind it, then Negroes will listen. You know, I know my people, you know. They're not going to voluntarily listen to no Ubuntu, you know. Only when Ubuntu, the only thing they understand is force. Only when Ubuntu can put their foot up his ass or give them opportunity will Black people listen. Now, Baruti, I would like to know is what is your plan for Ubuntu to put billions of dollars into the Black community? You know, what is it? You know, I'm just being honest with you tonight. You know, what is it? Because I'm sick of messing around, talking back and forth with people and everything like that. Instead of getting down to the facts, where's the Ubuntu billionaire bank? You know, is there a Ubuntu $1 billion bank in Africa? No. Do you think the next president repeal the Citizen Act? Well, the Citizen Act basically of 1968 was designed really to protect Black people that born in America. It was not really meant for like people just coming across the border and they have a child here, and they basically, just because you have a child on U.S. soil, we got to recognize your citizenship here. That's not what it was intended for. It was intended to give ex-slaves a chance at citizenship, because we wanted citizenship in America as rights and citizenship. We never asked for no reparations back then. We should have got the reparations. Should have came right after slavery. We should say, man, stick your citizenship up your ass, give us our money so we can get the hell out of here. We didn't want to do that, and so the bottom line is, you integrated into America for the last 100-something years, and so you forfeited your right to reparations. That's the way I see it. So if you want reparations, you got to unravel your whole citizenship and everything like that, you know? Did you know, he goes, do you know that Howard is co-sponsor of Ubuntu conference? Howard University ain't got no money, you know? What does that got to do with it? Oh, Howard University, whatnot, you know? You know, who's the endowment? Where's the money coming on? How does that benefit us, you know? They have an Ubuntu conference, you know? All another goofy shit these universities come up with. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. This is the level we're at right now. That's why you wonder why we're not making any progress. Howard University had an Ubuntu conference with the State University. Wow, man, we are making forward on our way, man. You know, I guess a week later the reparations check will be in the mail, right? You know, I guess that's the end of it, man. We're gonna have reparations a week after this conference. You know, it is what it is, folks. I'm tired. You know, like I get to the point where I'm just tired of freaking playing games with people. You know, and stuff like that. You know. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. Anyone want to call in? We're talking about grabbing a piece of the action. You know, I don't think waiting around for Ubuntu is grabbing a piece of the action. That's just the same old, same old. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. You know, that's just my opinion, humble opinion. You know, grabbing a piece of the action. You know, where's the Ubuntu when we need grant writers in our community? You know, getting Black people writing grants for Black people to get. But the American government, right? The U.S. Navy, I know U.S. Navy, do billions of dollars worth of procurement, what we call procurement. What is procurement? Procurement means the public purchasing of goods and services, but from the government from the private sector. That's called procurement. And the bottom line is that's lucrative right there. A lot of Black businesses who are smart and white business smart make that money, their base money, securing contracts to procure everything from pencils to paint to the federal government, right? If you have an auto parts store and everything, you could, if you needed a military base, you could be a supplier to the Navy as far as auto parts and everything like that, you know. That's called the procurement department, you know, procurement. And so therefore, the Navy and all these other places in the federal government, even when you look at federal agencies and stuff like that, they basically procure stuff from the public, everything from guns to maybe even bulletproof vests and everything like that. I know one dude that basically was selling all kinds of military equipment to soldiers and everything. He basically, like, a young guy too, man. He had a business, right? Warehouse. He rented the warehouse space, right? I don't know where he got the money from to buy all this initial stuff, and all his contracts was an Oceana military base. You know, he said, "Yeah, I got a contract. I'm selling bulletproof vests. I got the helmet. Boom, boom, boom." And the Navy the orders just keep coming in. That's what it's called, procurement. You know, and that's lucrative. That's lucrative. That's better. That's not like you sitting on the street corner selling ice cream or lemonade on the street corner and whatnot. You know, that's lucrative. That's a contract, like, boom. That's guaranteed money. That's lucrative. You know, and so therefore, you know, people grabbing a piece of the action. Black people, we don't basically think it's necessary to basically look into these things, right? We let people like Yvette Carnell tell us there's no opportunity out here, so we got to sit back and cry and complain instead of grabbing a piece of the action. You know, I want to see us grab a piece of the damn action. And people who can't do action, well, help people to do that. We got people out here. If you got nothing to do, if you're good at grant writing and research and everything, start having your own little seminar. You can make money right there doing grant writing for people, charge a fee, whatever like that. Say, okay, this is what you want to do. I'm gonna help you write a business plan, grant writing, boom, boom, boom. This is what's gonna cost. We're gonna cost you $2,000. That's reasonable. $2,000, and the person got a plan, right? And he had the application, he got everything to submit to the government to get into procurement or contracting, everything like that. That's reasonable. Let's say $15,000 to $2,000. You can make some money off that as a side business or a real business, because there's a lot of Black people that don't know how to write these grants and everything like that, and so we need people doing that, So why? Because people want to grab a piece of the action, Don't let anybody tell you. Like these people, I got those people on TikTok talking about clown on TikTok about, well, Black people shouldn't be in the police department or the military. I said, well, what the fuck are they supposed to do? Where you got a job for them? No, but you're helping America oppress people around the world. Those people around the world. It's about us and how we can benefit. I don't give a damn. I was one of those, I can't get involved with the government because they're an evil empire and blah, blah, all this stupid shit. I could be a millionaire right now if I wasn't stupid when I was younger. What's up, Dollar Bill?
Hey, how you doing, Colin?
Doing great. What's on your mind, brother?
Actually, you're telling the 100% truth.
Thank you.
And the first thing that happens that we don't understand is that each community has community boards.
Yeah.
And in those community boards, they distribute the money to the entire community, right? All of the grants, all of the information is right there in the community board.
Right.
And when I was a young guy, I used to participate in the community boards.
Right.
But I was really young. And when I started working, I didn't think about it anymore. But that's how all of the money in the community is distributed.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people get in these community boards, right? And there's a lot of people who are really not from the community.
Exactly.
Because they know this is where the money comes from on the local.
Mm-hmm.
And so all politics, starts out on the local.
Yep.
Right? In the school boards, in the community boards, all of this information that a lot of us, because we're too busy existing and not getting out there and trying to get a piece of the action.
Exactly. You're 100% right. That's what I thought about doing the show. I said, yeah, we got to talk about getting a piece of the action. Every community, as you speak right now, basically got a budget, right? Like I said, I met the mayor of Virginia Beach a couple of years ago, Bobby Dyer. He said, man, we got millions and millions of dollars that we procure from the public, everything from cleaning contracts to just supplying a school lunchroom with stuff, schools have to buy stuff. You had your own bakery, right? You had your own bakery. Schools sometimes buy whole like cakes and stuff like that from bakeries and cut it up and give it as, you know what I'm saying? So, but the bottom line, if you don't know this stuff exists and everything, you don't understand that there's a budget for everything. A budget, the school is given a budget. The school has to go out there and purchase food for its cafeterias, right? It's already paid for, All they have to do is look for suppliers, right? We have never tell our people how to be a supplier. How do you be a supplier? You get a warehouse space, you get all the stuff like this, and you be a supplier. We have never mastered that science of being a supplier, wholesaler, and part of the supply chain, It's called being part of the supply chain, and distribution.
So when people talk about Kamala Harris, right?
Yeah.
And she comes out, and it's not too much about her, for me, how Black she is. I look at policy.
Mm-hmm.
When she comes out and makes a blanket statement that I'm not going to do anything for Black people, that was very politically immature.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so Black people are not asking for anything. And everyone else is asking for something. They want something for their vote.
Yeah.
But we don't want anything. We just want to see somebody Black or a woman win. But other people are more politically mature about what they want. The government set asides is how a lot of people
We used to
get money.
remember whatever happened to those, man. Remember you and I remember government set aside back in the remember back in the Al Sharpton with that what Matty the horse, whatever like that. You know, the mafia, he got involved with the mafia. They were trying to get part of the minority set aside. When there was lots of money in minority set aside contracts, you know.
Exactly.
We
So
gave
when she
all that
says
up,
I'm
man.
not giving anything out to black people, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about those government set asides. When I tell you about my cousin who did that work, okay, in Atlanta, it's because they had a black mayor at the time,
Yeah, Maynard
right?
Jackson.
And so they were able to affect policy. Like Virginia, one time Virginia had a black governor. I remember when I was a young
Doug
guy.
Wilder.
Yes, a friend. Matter of fact, the guy I used to work for, him and Wilder actually went to school together.
Right.
So that there's power in that. So people
Exactly.
don't really understand what power really is. And so when people say a blanket, I'm not going to give anything to black people, automatically, you're not getting my vote.
Right.
And I don't care who you are. It's not about the person you are. It's about what can I get, right? So everybody wants to get something. And if we don't want to get something, then we're just not going to exist in America. We're just going to die off.
Yeah, the bottom line is we have to have a certain segment of our community that's when you know how much money the Navy does in procurements and contract with the civilian population. It's a bit. I tried for years to get into a contract supplying the Navy with ice cream. I could have got that too if I just had the friggin' right capital and that. I could have basically, you know those there's freezers that you could get right called walk-in freezers, right? That you can get it like walk-in freezer. I was gonna buy my that Blue Bunny ice cream.
Yes.
I was gonna get I was gonna get Blue Bunny ice cream. I said all I needed was that freezer, right? I used to look at that thing all day and all night. You know, brown freezers, right? I said I get that freezer. I said I get this dummy ass warehouse place someplace. Put that freezer in the back, right? This stuff with Blue Bunny when I and start putting in bids on contracts with the Navy to supply them with ice cream. You know. I want that thing so bad, man. I was just a young man in my 20s, man, you know? But, you know, it just didn't work out, man, because everybody's like, okay, yeah, you know what?
See, people don't understand that business is what allows other individuals from other parts not to have their children out in the street committing crimes.
Exactly.
Right? And so, you know, I admire, you know, even though I get a lot of flack from from a lot of young people, but I admire the Jamaican brothers. There was a brother who had Golden Crust. He since, you know, is deceased. But he had an idea. He had a concept and he wanted to sell beef patties.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, he did good, man. He was a millionaire.
And he became a multi-millionaire. And the thing that he did, nobody was going to give him any money. So because him and his brothers and sisters had a house, because they had a desire to have a house right up in the area where, you know, where I was raised, they took their money out of their home and they put it toward a business and they funded themselves. And they were able to get proof of concept, right? In a business, you got to have your proof of concept. And so after that, they were able to show that they had a certain amount of money coming in, and then he was able to franchise, and the rest is history. But when we don't have the credit, we don't have a job, we can't put in those and we don't have that equity. Yeah. I tell people all the time, you know, about equity in a home and how important equity is, right? Exactly. So when we were talking about my parents buying a home in 1980 and the home was $45,000, and now that same home is worth almost $1 million.
Yep.
All that money is equity.
Yep.
Right? That's equity in your loan that you can take out, that you can borrow from yourself, that you can fund any kind of business venture, that you can buy any real estate from. That's how you win. So when white people, got that GI loan bill, right? And they escaped in the 50s to Levittown and all of those different places that they were denying African Americans, like my father and his brothers, from getting the GI loan bill. They were able to get generational wealth because they were able to buy low and sell high. Exactly. And use that equity okay, to fund their businesses and fund intergenerational wealth.
And that's
And
why
that's
it's
what it's
important
about.
that we don't let our neighborhoods go down, because you got some neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, right? They're so crime ridden. There's no resale value that the house basically people owe more on the house than the house is worth because of crime, blight, and everything like that. All that affects the value of your property. You know what I'm saying?
That happened in 2000. And since you were talking about your father, God, bless his soul.
Yeah.
During that time, my mom passed like a year before that in 2007. But during that time, like between like 2006 to 2008, is when a lot of people were taking money, equity out of their home, right? So they started taking all this money out, and they didn't have any real plan. And they had these subprime guys that would take anything and make it look like, like you're making more money than you're making so they can get a loan. A lot of people lost their homes.
Yeah.
Right. And so they lost a lot of intergenerational wealth because they didn't understand. So that's how you become house rich and cash poor.
Yep.
Now your house doesn't have any equity in it because, things kept going down in the interest rate and people kept cashing out. People are constantly trying to get me to cash out. They're sending me stuff. Oh, cash out, man. Why don't you cash out? And I said, when am I going to pay this back? When I'm 90? And they do that to older people, and much older than me, and they scare them and they steal their deeds from them. And this is how they steal our wealth. So our young people, instead of saying, our wealth in this country is calcified, like you said, in pension plans and mortgages, instead of those young people looking at us as the enemy, they should be saying, how can I take what you're going to give me, okay, to the next level? How can I open up businesses? How can I open up industry? How can I get something for myself intergenerational? Because now it's a bank, right?
Right.
It's a bank that you have. When you own your home, that home is a bank.
Yeah, if I would have had something like my parents sold that house when we moved to Virginia, and then like I said, when I was trying to do that business with the freezer and Blue Bunny and whatnot, I didn't have any. My parents, we came down to Virginia, we were struggling and whatnot, and I was just basically trying to put, because I had my own vending company at the time, right? But I wanted that thing so bad. I said, look, if I could basically get that freezer, right? I know where to work because I could have put a bid in, become a vendor. All you do is sign up to become a vendor in the Navy. You sign up to become a vendor. They'll accept you. They don't reject nobody. And then they'll just put bids in. Like they said, they need ice cream. They have saying, okay, we buy this amount of ice cream, right? And let's say one of the vendors can't make the supply, whatever reason is right there. They'll call you up and say, look, we need so many barrels of ice cream because we're doing an event here. Can you do it? Boom. Next thing you know, you just got, you know what I'm saying? And I said to myself, I told God, I said, man, I can do this. I can do it. All I need is a couple of trucks, to transport the stuff, and I got the freezer right here. I just keep ordering the stuff and bulk breaking it, ordering stuff on pallets, bulk breaking it. And then when people come in, I have distributors and oh man, I had it all planned. I had a business plan, everything all planned out, but I didn't have the capital to start it,
And the capital is very important.
Yeah.
You look, another thing that I learned, I was talking to this Jewish guy at my job once. People don't realize that, you can pass your credit to the next generation. A lot of us don't understand that credit can be passed on. So a lot of times these guys will give their credit to their sons and their daughters and let them open up businesses and let them buy homes and such, because they can pass that on generation. What I'm trying to say in a nutshell is things begin to break down with us, right? Because of our family structure.
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
And people don't want to discuss that. But, even I was discussing that with another brother about when they look at household, right? And how much we have in terms of household wealth and why we're at the bottom is a direct correlation to our marriages.
Marriages and families, right? That's the important thing.
So when we break down the family and we don't have that two household in the family, That's a business. People don't realize that marriage is a business.
Exactly.
A home is a business and a bank. And these institutions give us stability in our communities.
Yep.
When you have a transient community, when you don't own anything in that community, you don't care how you treat that community.
Exactly.
People are urine on the floor.
I said like this, brother. Like
Mhm.
Baruti keeps talking about Ubuntu, like Ubuntu conference. What is that going to do? We got deeper problems. We got broken down families and everything like that. How's Ubuntu are going to friggin' change all that? You know?
I think what he's trying to talk about is Ubuntu in terms of us talking to the African community, the larger diaspora,
Right.
how we can engage ourselves with them in terms of Ubuntu. But I told Baruti, I'm not gonna come on here, do your reflection, man. You got to come and represent yourself. I understand what you're trying to say, and I appreciate it. Baruti's a good brother.
Yeah, he just sounds like a good brother, but
He's a
solid
idealist.
brother. He's an idealist, you know.
I think he we go at it. Me and him argue all the time. But his heart is in the right place, and he loves Black people. He loves the African diaspora, and he wants us to engage them in a meaningful way. And he felt that Ubuntu is a great way, and those are good ideas. But I think that, like you say, we got to straighten up our own backyard.
Yeah, we got to straighten this up. And also Africans got to straighten their backyard up too, because we can't go into a situation where, like I was talking last night, I said, I look at the Liberian legislature right now. Me and Dave was talking about that last night. You got one legislature talk about, I'm going to cut the president in half in pieces with a machete. I said, yo, look, man, I can't tell my people, go over there and live under that shit. People talk like that, got political parties acting like gangs and whatnot, I said, no, that can't fly. And so I said like this, it's more than just going to the continent and everything like that. Africa has to change too.
Yeah, they have to change their mentality.
Yep.
And they don't realize, like, I was looking at a program yesterday, and I'm looking at this brother had brought a place, and what's the name of that place in Ghana where they get the free land? What's the name of it?
Asabo.
So I'm looking at a brother there. They had a brother there from Jamaica, and he brought 3 plots out there. And I'm looking around, right? And I'm seeing these grand buildings, but they're next to people who living in squalor.
And that's gonna cause, it's already causing tensions, jealousy, envy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't live in a grand mansion next to someone who's living in squalor, and then not think that eventually they're gonna jump over your gate and get what you got.
It's already happened. It's already happening. It's already happening.
So when you say Afristan, people, they frown at that, but they don't realize. See, we have these ideas of this rugged individualism, this Horatio Algier, this European thought mind that we're just gonna go out to Africa and I'm gonna get my 3 plots and I'm gonna build this big mansion and you're gonna be across the street from me in your big mansion, and then the rest of the people are gonna just say, hey, look at those rich guys on next to me, and not think that they want the same thing you want.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's already happening. It's already happening. You got people showing up to people over there, and they're basically saying, the kids like, I don't have no food, I don't have this, and they're giving them kids money and everything. And this one guy, Mahara or whatever his name is, he knows Bomani. He goes, yeah, it's your responsibility as diaspora to take care of the local. I said, that sounds like extortion to me, So anytime somebody comes up and whatnot, we got to take our money to build them schools or give them school books and everything. That's extortion,
Exactly.
And so I'm saying to myself, no, I mean, I feel bad for them and everything, but that's up to the Ghanaian people to do, And so you say give us free land, but you got to build the land up for somebody else and everything like that, and it does cause envy because now people talk about, well, the land was sacred. It always come with this sacred land stuff. When you build something, the land just sitting there doing nothing. Then basically when you build something, particularly Black people, like with Fianca, you remember the Fianca situation?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
How women got killed, two elderly sisters got murdered in Fiancre. You know why? Because envy and jealousy. You know,
because they haven't planned this stuff out. So
yeah,
like you were telling me, Bomani was in his group. They were selling plots. People wanted to get free land. Bomani had a plan. He had businesses. He had all kind of infrastructure set up in a community. They don't want that. They wanted to get some free land so they can spend all this money putting up these grand mansions.
Yeah, I don't see what the purpose of having a mansion in a place where you don't have indoor plumbing and stuff like that. What's the point of having a mansion? You know, just have a modest house. You know, a modest house. That's what when I go to Africa. I ain't looking for a mansion. If I want a mansion, I'll stay in America. You know, go to Africa. I just want a modest house. As long as I have the essentials. The main thing is the essentials. You have running water. You have electricity, running water, internet. You know, and plumbing. You know,
and safety.
And safety, you know?
Safety is the number one thing. These people cannot secure. They don't have, you know, they think those little gates are going to stop someone from coming in their house.
You know, so the bottom line, it's not really well thought out, you know, and people like this, you know what I'm saying? This is Africa, you know, anything can happen. I mean, even when they had Fiacre, they barely made an arrest in that thing, you know, and still don't know what happened, you know. They said the guy was caught and he was executed. Oh, yeah, why wasn't it in the paper? There's no newspaper articles about what happened to the guy, you know.
Look at what happened in Gambia.
So Dollar Bill, I have a question for you, brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who am I speaking with, brother?
Buana.
Oh,
Buana.
This is Buana. So yeah.
Yes,
so the both of y'all brothers are New Yorkers, right?
Yes, sir.
So, right. So, and you say that it's not fair to have $1 million homes next to squalor in Africa.
Yes.
Right. But it's not far-fetched to say within New York.
Yeah, but hold on. It's not the same thing.
Let me finish, Ocala.
I'm gonna definitely explain that. I want you to go there because I know the history of that. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, but I gotta finish. So you have
go ahead. I'm not gonna say nothing bland.
Yeah, you have $1 million brownstones next to housing projects with the same kinds of issues of plumbing and all the things you were describing. You mean to tell me in those housing projects they don't have plumbing issues?
Yeah, housing projects are maintained by the city.
Are we having Yo, so you telling me that they don't have what do they have? People who own those buildings.
I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Let me finish though. No, I understand. But
people think they're living in like
some of the Jews who own those buildings, those houses, those apartment complexes, they allow those apartment complexes to run down almost a squalor kind of situation, brother. And you know that, and Big Brother knows that as well. The both of y'all know that. So let's not pretend. Let me finish because I have a question to ask you.
Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you made a statement. You said that marriage is like business, right?
It is.
So yes. So because I look at marriage as a contractual obligation, ruled by the state. That's how I look at marriage as well. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a business, but I want to know why you say that it's a business. That's the question I have for you, brother. Go ahead.
Because it's a contract, right? In order for you to get in the business, if you get a corporation or LLC, right, it's basically a license. And if you want to dissolve it, you have to dissolve it the same way you dissolve or sell it, the same way you dissolve a divorce, right? So it is a business. It's a privilege that's given to you by the state, all right? And the parties come into agreement. And so that's what makes it a business. Right? It's regulated by the state, by the government. You can't dissolve it on your own. You have to go to the Supreme Court to get it dissolved, right? So it is a business. It's just like a corporation.
Yes, sir. But Dollar Bill, you could sell a business, but you can't sell your wife.
No, but you can dissolve, just like you can dissolve the articles of a corporation. You can dissolve the marriage, right?
Sure. You could dissolve a marriage, but you also could sell a business to another person, but you can't sell your wife.
No, you can't say you're white. But what I'm saying to you is, it's like a business. That doesn't mean in each and every aspect, right?
I understand.
So
Yes.
so let me get back to what you were saying. So first of all, I got to do this for other people to see. Let's talk about New York, because I can't talk about every place in the United States because I haven't lived there, right? So let's talk about the United States. So back in the 40s, when the projects were first put together in New York City, there was a man by the name of Mayor Lindsay. And Mayor Lindsay, okay, if you look him up, was hated by white folks because he turned around and he put all these housing projects in white communities. One of the biggest ones is near the city center, and he put a housing project down there, and white people went crazy. If you look it up, there were riots all over New York City when he put these housing projects. But the housing projects initially weren't for black people. The housing projects initially were for white folks, okay, who had fallen down on their luck. And it was just supposed to be temporarily. They were supposed to be able to go there for a year or two, and then they were supposed to leave. It was never supposed to be a permanent institution. But then black people started moving up into these projects, right? And if you look at the projects, now I want to tell you, the projects are not squalor.
Yeah,
if you look at the project,
man, the people are lazy. You got probably 3 bedrooms, lace, nice new shower, kitchen.
Yes,
luxury kitchen.
The
That's
bricks,
what projects, man.
The construction on those projects, the bricks and all that masonry that was done on those projects are absolutely beautiful, right? But what happens is you can, as working people stop coming to the project, you had a lot of people who were coming on welfare and so on and so forth, and they began to destroy the project because they didn't know how to live in them, right? So even they went to a new place, eventually they broke it down and made it bad. So the people didn't have control of these other places, okay, in the city where the projects were being put up, right? So it's not like, oh, you put up something next to squalor. No, he did it like that, Mayor Lindsay, and he got a lot of people angry in the city, and riots broke out, and white flight began to happen all across the city.
So I want to answer what you said just now. Okay?
Sure.
So what year did Mayor Lindsay do what he did?
I can look it up, but I believe it had to be in the 1940s.
Okay. Yes. So here's the thing. I know a little bit about the history of New York City in referencing what you were saying, because as you were saying, from Ellis Island came the immigrants from all over the world, Italians, Jews, etc., etc., etc. And a lot of those people inhabited the so-called projects as well.
Yes, that's who went in there
right?
first.
Right.
That's who went in there first, white people.
Yes. And as you say, that it was a temporary position for them to be in. And as Jews got wealthy and as Italians did their thing, they eventually moved out of those projects. And blacks coming from the South, they eventually came and decided to live in those projects. You know, for good or bad, that temporary
for great
reasons.
For us,
yeah, no problem. But that
my parents, my mother and father moved in the project. I told you now, I used to live on 174th Street in Katona Park, and it had rats.
You ever see the Baisley projects in Queens? Those are nice. With Nicki
Beautiful.
Minaj. Those are nice, man. Nice. They got a community center there. Nice, man. You know, I don't know what he's talking about. The people living.
It was like heaven. When we moved, we didn't have any rats. We didn't have any roaches. It was a great big park. We had
but I don't want
community centers.
I'm
just telling you,
nice one.
When we moved into the project, man, it was like heaven sent. But go on.
No sweat. But I don't want your audience to be sold on the idea that this heavenly situation existed in the projects, and particularly for the 80s and the 90s and the 70s.
No,
because we know
I think you're watching too many rap videos, bro.
it's not TV, bro.
Let me tell you, when you listen to
my family went to New York too, bro. I know what the Bronx.
Projects was beautiful in the 70s.
I know the Bronx.
It was beautiful in the 70s.
Oh, if I ask you, what do you think about South Jamaica, Queens? What are you gonna say?
No, South Jamaica, Queens was a middle class area. I understand that.
No, I'm saying when people think of South Jamaica, Queens, what do you think of? 50 Cent, the streets, everything like that. South Jamaica is the largest.
No. South Jamaica, Queens is a residential area. It's a residential area. It's a middle class area. Anyone who was in New York for any substantial amount of time would know that. But I'm saying that I just don't want. Well, I'll leave that alone. I'll leave that whole.
Bawana.
Yes,
being in the projects in the 70s was beautiful. When I left,
that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Listen,
your opinion.
Listen, when I left in the 1980s,
times of the projects.
I left in 1980. I can tell you the amount of millionaires that became millionaires that lived in the project. Okay, would blow your mind. What was they selling? What was they selling? Because a lot of millionaires in the project were selling dope. They were selling dope, heroin, cocaine. No,
not all illegal stuff. Legal stuff.
First of all, stop the drama. You know that's not true. One of the first millionaires that I know that was a friend of my mom, there were two twin brothers. I'm not going to give out their names in the Bronx who lived right across from us. Okay, they were two of the biggest guys in the McDonald Corporation, and these two brothers, businessmen, actually were the first people to open up the Wendy's in the Bronx and one in New Rochelle. Two young black men from the project, the same project where I hailed from. And the list can go on and on. I can tell you about doctors,
brilliant people that came out of the project,
lawyers,
brilliant
people. Everybody lived there, man. Bawana, you had school teachers, you had principals that lived in public housing.
I understand all that. You had good people in the project. I understand that. But the problem with Dollar Bill's statement is he is trying to get his audience to believe and understand that with the millionaires who was in the projects, very poor areas, that would be a very dangerous situation. That would be a very. Will you let me finish speaking? That would be a very dangerous situation for them people. Them same millionaires after they go from their work and stuff like that, go coming home at night. That would be extremely dangerous, not only for them but for their families, because around, as you say, there are millionaires around a lot of very poor, some very desperate people.
No, they weren't living there. That's not. But Bawana,
I thought that's what you
that they were living there.
I thought that's what you were saying.
I said people who became.
You said they came from there.
They came from the project.
Let me give my opinion.
That's fine.
Let me give my opinion. Why is the difference there, Bawana? Let me give my difference. One is poverty in America and poverty in Africa, two different things. People in America are not starving, And in Africa, right? Poverty is real. Yeah? People can go for days without having a meal, whatever like that. Go for days without having water and stuff like that, because that's poverty. Poverty in America is always a social safety net. So you're not dealing with that type of. You may be dealing with a criminal element, right? But you're not really dealing with poverty. You can get jacked by somebody who got $15,000 in his pocket. See the difference? You're dealing with New York. You're dealing with criminals.
No. The difference. Okay, and I hear what you're saying, Carla. But I'm saying that there are people who are starving in the United States. Not where?
I don't buy that, man. There's nobody starving in the States.
Let me finish though. Let me finish. There are a lot of people who starving in very deprived, poor areas. Check the black belt. Are we having a conversation, or you just want to talk? You can just go ahead talking. Right?
I got stuff right there because I work at a food bank once a month, right? And we give away so much freaking food. Ain't nobody starving. I worked at a food.
You're not giving to 45 million African Americans.
But the bottom line, African Americans are not poor, bro. What are you talking about?
To suggest that some African Americans don't go to bed hungry is just not true. That's
No,
that's
not
not a
true.
true statement. That's just not a true statement. And
If
for you to put
anyone
that
is
out there
going to
make
bed,
us believe-
listen.
to make us
If
believe
anyone,
only the
listen,
Africans are starving, only
if
the Africans
anyone
are
is
starving,
going to,
but
Only
Africans
Africans
American,
starving.
but Africans Americans are not starving.
listen.
Some of them going home, going to bed
No,
hungry.
no,
That's
no
just not
African
true.
Americans. We have the fattest
That's just
people on
not
the
true.
freaking planet. African Americans are the fattest people on the freaking planet. They're not starving.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but you could eat you could be eaten, but you could still suffer from a nutritional deficit because eating fries,
well, that's
and
different.
hamburgers is
If
not
you're talking
feeding your
about,
body,
you can
bro.
be mad.
No, he's talking about people who are fat. I'm telling you, not because they fat, that means they eating.
Bawana, calm down for a second, brother. We know
I'm very calm, bro. I'm very calm.
There are some people, okay, who are homeless, right?
Homeless, yeah.
But those are not the majority of 40. Listen, there's 50 million, 45 to 50 million African Americans in this country. There's less than 1 million, maybe 600,000, which is still too much. There's about 600,000 homeless people, right? And a lot of them are African Americans. But you're going to see that poverty is more than just poverty. There's mental health situations going on there, right? But you
drug addiction.
That's a small percentage of 50 million people, right?
There's also
that's not even 1 million.
In Africa
That's not even a
and
million.
Psychological issues.
And most importantly, you got to add on pride. There are some people that would rather be homeless than stay with relatives.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I understand that.
I know too many of them.
There are also psychological issues. There are also psychological issues that's going on.
Africa is not psychological.
And issues of drugs.
Well, it's the breakdown
and
of the
issues and
drug
breakdown.
Issues. People are homeless because is a breakdown in the family. You'll see, I'm I don't want to try to toot my horn, but I used to work for the homeless when I first got out of college. Right, I worked in Fort Washington Men's Shelter, right? And so on 168th Street, across the street from the Presbyterian Hospital, if you know New York. So I work with a lot of people. My catchment area is 168 to Dyckman Street, river to river, right? So I know that there's a lot of issues that have many layers, and a lot of it is that people have actually fell out of favor with their family. Their families no longer can allow them or trust them in their home because of their addiction, because of their mental situation, that they can't, and their violence. They can no longer keep them in their homes. That's why they're out on the street. And there's a thing going on too, where a lot of people coming from these programs, okay, stop taking their medication. And they're just roaming. They're just roaming.
I got a brother like that, man, in New York,
just roaming the street, right?
He can't keep an apartment. He's always homeless.
But to say that is as many as people out in Africa would be ridiculous, right?
No, I'm not saying that.
It would be ridiculous.
Black America.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying no. This Carla is making a statement that there's no starving people in America, and I'm saying that statement is a false one. And I'm also saying too. I understand the homeless situation. Bro. Carla, give me a second, bro. I'll let you go. I understand the homeless situation that's going on in America. I just came from Las Vegas. I know about Skid Row in California. I understand that there's a mental health crisis going on in America, not only in America, all over the world, and a drug issue epidemic that's going all over the world. You talk about families. I listened to the brother Larry Elder. Larry Elder said that the breakdown of fatherlessness just created a situation where you see a lot of these issues that's happening within your community. That's fine. But I really wanted to, I'll just go with the consistency of the show, because I really wanted to touch on this government procurement issue, because the government procurement contracting creates a whole lot of millionaires. Selling pencils to high schools could cause you to be a millionaire. I mean, that is an avenue that I don't necessarily
talked about on the internet. Buwana, man, here's the thing. if black people, if we basically have the defeatist mindset that we're all starving, we're not going to want to get into things like procurement. We're not, we're going to always in that survival mode. We got to get to eat. While the white boys and the Asian boys are freaking doing lucrative stuff, we're sitting there living hand to mouth, which is not necessary. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but Carla, you yourself just talked about the fact that some of the brothers who you was talking to was on some loser shit. They wasn't interested in anything. So right, I'm not saying that speaks to all black folks, but there is a proportion of black folks who really they're not interested in anything. They're not interested in anything, and that's not
nobody telling them.
You know what it is? Let me tell you this, and maybe people don't really understand. In our time, right? And I'm older than Colin, but in our time, people told us to go and get a good job. Your family would say, "Go get you a good job. Go work in the post office.
Yep.
Go work for transit."
Sometimes I think I should have taken that advice.
Right? And I remember I always had a little side hustle on the side and made money because it was my friend Robert Joyner that really hit me. Even though his family is from Alabama, they lived out in Queens, and he always showed me how to get out there and do a little hustle. He's older than me. So, I used to listen to him, and we go out and we would buy stuff and sell it and make money on the side. So I remember I left my job at 40 years old, and I said, I'm going to go out and do my own thing. I got a professional license, and I started doing this stuff and making money. And some months, man, this is like 20 years ago. And some months, man, I was making like $8,000. And then some months, man, I'm making like $1,200, And so it's the ups and downs, man. And one day I got so tired of it, man. I just said, you know what, man, I got a mortgage to pay. Let me just go back to my job, man. It was easier for me to go back to my job. I got off at 5:00. I didn't have to do all of the work. I didn't have to have somebody to record all my time. I had holidays. I had vacations. I had all those things, man. I said, man, it's easier to go back to work. And I had raises and all of this stuff. It's hard. So when you don't grow up in that culture, right, of working for yourself and knowing about those ebbs and flows and how to save your money and how to put away your money for your taxes and all of those things you need to know when you're going into business and you've been orientated to get a good job, right? So a lot of our people were orientated that way. So when people came from different parts of the world, they were merchant class, right? They used to selling stuff in stores, and a lot of people I know. I'm going to interview a lady who I grew up with. She's a producer of reggae. She's got a beautiful house in California, but this girl grew up. Her parents owned businesses in Jamaica. When she came to America, right, her family owned businesses in Jamaica.
We're not that type of people that have businesses. We've always been working people. Man.
No, we had them in the South.
In the South, we had
the Northerners.
North.
It was get a good job. Go get a job at the post office or work for AT&T. They all paid very good money, and people lived a very good life doing those type of things.
Con Edison.
Yeah.
Dig that. I dig that. Dollar bill. I dig what you're saying, right? And this is sometimes the difference between some of us Black immigrants and some of the African American community, because we come to America to look for opportunity, not necessarily looking for jobs. If the African American population, the native population, have the mindset where they let me finish. Yeah, no sweat. But if y'all have the mindset where you're trying to get a good jobs, we think differently. So I understand that. Let me say this though. In America, sure, as far as federal contracts, African Americans they get like $9 billion from last year in federal contracting. That represents like 1%. Because right, I think that the amount of federal contracting money that's given just really to the general public is $800 billion. So there's a big shortfall. So I'm saying to myself, if there is a gap like that, shouldn't your community, I understand how y'all been affixed to think, but shouldn't your community be like trying to get contracts way above
Carla was talking about,
bro?
You know what? Carla was talking to you. Listen, what you're talking about is called a change of paradigm, right? It's a way of looking at things differently, right? So Carla was explaining that he's a business person. Okay, I have a little small business, but I didn't make my money on business. I made my money on a job. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I worked for many years, and I got many raises, and according to my education and things that I did, was allowing me to do the things that I need to do in life, to buy a house, to put my children through private school, and all of the things that I was able to do. I did it because, like I said, I had my own business, man. It wasn't making the kind of money that I'm making right now. So I said, shoot, man, I got vacations. I'm on vacation right now, right? I've been on vacation since August the 13th. How you think I can stay up 5 or 6 hours? Because I don't have to go. I'm getting paid.
Yes,
right?
but dollar bill. Yours.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. But what I hear from some quarters in your community is trying to close the wealth gap. Right?
Most people aren't serious. Man, let me tell you something, dollar bill.
Let me finish. Let me finish. No, let me finish, guys. Let me finish quickly. So I'm saying to you that you work for 40 years at a job, and that's an honorable job. You've been able to take care of your family. That's fine. But in America, to build wealth in America is not having a job, bro. You're not playing the game right. That's in my mind.
I don't agree.
But
one, I don't agree because people can say that. Listen. Most businesses fail within the first 5 years.
My grandfather retired from Con Edison as a wealthy man with like
exactly
$250,000 in the bank.
Most black folks that live in the South that got these big pretty homes.
$250,000 is wealth.
Yes, look.
Depending on where you live, it's wealth.
And he had $250,000 in the 401k when he retired from New York, and he had property already paid that I'm trying to inherit right now in the South. He had a house paid for in the South. Had money coming every month right through his pension and stocks and everything, and he got $250,000 worth of thing. That was back in 1988. Yes, that was a lot of money. But somebody
a lot of money now
with a third grade education, yes, that was good.
So people can't say.
But I'm asking.
But Wanda, let me just say this to you. That is not the issue, that I was setting up about intergenerational wealth. The intergenerational wealth didn't matter whether you had a business or whether you worked a job. The wealth was that you were able to secure property and get equity in that property. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Every person who comes from the Caribbean, who comes from Africa, they're not all working. They're not all working in as merchants, right? A lot of them moved out of that merchant class. My friend, she didn't, and she's able to make big money. Doing what she does. A lot of people are working, in these industries where black people used to go and make their money. So so-called black jobs. We know what black jobs are. Jobs at the post office, jobs in transportation. Those jobs in sanitation, you can make over 6 figures slinging garbage. Those were black jobs.
Let me tell you something. My younger cousin in New York, right? He works for the sanitation department. He says when he retires, right, he got a retirement plan so stacked up that he's going to make like around $500,000 a year when he retires. That's how good things are. He's making real. Him and his wife's an accountant. He's the thing. They make over like they got a nice house in Baldwin, Long Island, on beachfront property. He drives a Tesla. It works with things. So the bottom line is he would much rather have what he's doing right now than being tasked with having a business, So,
no sweat. But the dollar bill. Cut the other brother Mike, man. He making a lot of noise. There are 3 vehicles in America. If you look at it, 3 vehicles to build wealth. One you just described. You say real estate. No sweat. If you have real estate, you could parlay that and use that in terms of getting monies from the banks and doing other kinds of things with that. That's one vehicle for wealth. The other vehicle for wealth is the S&P 500. Everyone knows that. If you hitch your wagon to one of the wealthiest 500 companies in America, that's how other people would have been able to get rich in America. Ask Warren Buffett. That's another one. The other one is having your own business. Having your own business.
Well, let me tell you. Let me land,
Dollar Bill. If we are as a community poorly represented in them 3 vehicles, of course we're gonna come in second place. Of course we are not gonna be able to compete with our competitors. Of course. Moana. So there's always gonna be a wealth gap. Always.
Moana, do you know what they told me? And I'm not gonna tell you what union I belong to, but we don't just have pensions. One, we have pensions. One, we have tax deferred annuity. And a third one is our Social Security. Those are the 3 pedestals that we rest on. Okay, pension plan, which is matched by the government, right? The other one is your Social Security, which depends on how much money you put into the system. And the third one, okay, is the one that we deal with the stock market and tax deferred. So that tax deferred money,
called variable annuities.
Yes, the variable annuities and the tax deferred annuities go from our other monies, and that's the 3 pedestals. So I don't just say that you have to have a business. I don't agree. Everyone is not business minded. I'm telling you, I determined that I was going to be able to make more money working less in my job and being able to tuck away money, being able to build equity, being able to put in stocks and bonds than I was going to be as a business person. And everyone is not a business person. So don't say because don't discount good jobs.
No, I would never.
Good jobs out there.
Good jobs in Gary, Indiana, and Pittsburgh built a huge black middle class.
I would never discount. I would never discount a hardworking man who goes to work from 9 to 5 every day and provides and takes care of his family.
Wish we had those jobs back.
But what I would say is this: many of us are financially illiterate, and I'm saying that to play this game, because everyone knows America is a business. And if you are financially illiterate, you are out of the game. So if you don't use the vehicle of having your own business, you have 2 other vehicles that's left. You have the stock market, which many people are heavily invested in and have developed well, and then buying real estate. Some people buy real estate very early, and they're able to parlay that real estate.
If you're financially illiterate, you can't run business. You can't run the stock market. You can't do that. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
What's feasible is cultivating a new black business class. That's what we need. We need people just like you have a black political class. Now, the black political classes benefit from all this, right? Because all they do is just get out there every 4 years and tell you to vote for Democrats, and they're getting paid. We don't have a black business class. Think about this. People like Robert Smith and stuff like that, they have no voice in our community because the media tells us that those people don't matter. Only people that matter is the people like they put in front of us, as politics and everything. We have never legitimized the black business community in Black America. We've always been a working class people, right? But we have to step up to that class. Not saying everybody's going to be a business person, but those people who can, right, master that business class, whatnot, we need to listen to. And not everybody's cut out for business.
My
black middle class.
My argument to y'all brothers is success leave clues. If I can't find a Warren Buffett, then I go directly to the source. I'm gonna find out what Warren Buffett did to become wealthy. It doesn't matter that he's not a black man. I'm gonna look at Ray Dalio. I'm gonna look at Ray Dalio. I'm gonna look at Ray Dalio, and I'm gonna find out how he became a multi-billionaire.
Well, you're not being realistic.
You're
not being realistic.
No, it is being realistic.
Out of billions of people on the planet, billions of people on the planet, less than 0.1% of billionaires. You're looking at the ultra wealthy people, but if you simply looked it up, majority of the wealthy people in America are people with jobs. They're not business people.
You got to understand something.
I'm not trying to.
Bawana,
Hold on. Let me finish that. Let me finish all of it.
Hold on, Bawana.
One second.
Let me say something to you. And I'm going to tell you a little story. And I didn't realize this. My father's 89 years old, right? And I didn't realize this because my father loves golf, right? He's really good at golf. When he was a young kid growing up in North Carolina, okay, he wasn't allowed to play golf because of racism and so on and so forth. And I'm not a tall guy, but I grew up and I still love my basketball team, which is the horrible team, which is the Knicks, but I still love them. Mm-hmm. I wanted to play ball, right? My father would get out there and we go to Winston-Salem, to Winston Lake. There was a black man used to own that. Either he owned it or he ran Winston Lake golf course. So we used to get out there and we used to play golf. Plus, when I come up to Westchester, you know, my father would caddy and stuff and teach us how to play golf. And I took no interest in it at all, right? No interest in it at all because it wasn't my kind of sport. But you know what? When I reflect on it, I wasn't being smart. You know why? Because it's not just who you look at and who you emulate. Most things in America is who you network with. And most people network in business. Guess where? On the golf course.
Yep.
Right? Any businessman will tell you that knowing how to play golf and dealing with other business deals, they're not made in the business sector. They're made right there on the golf course.
Country clubs.
Yes. And so I had a direct line into business, but I didn't want to listen to my father because I wanted to play basketball like every other ghetto kid, okay, in my area. But they were going to be 6 feet tall and 6'7" and all that. And my father wasn't tall, and neither was my mother. So I didn't have the genetics, but I had the genetics to play golf, right? I had the legs and the calves to drive that ball and to make money and play golf. But I wasn't interested in it, right? You can look at all of the people who you want to look at in the world. But I'm telling you, when you have relationships is what makes money. In Africa, why the billionaires, they're not the billionaires because they're looking at Warren Buffett. They're the billionaires because they have relationships in their families, in their communities, in their tribes.
African billionaires are rich because they were connected.
That's what
and
I mean.
Nothing more than that.
That's the relationship.
They wasn't the hard-working people that started from the ground up. Don't give them too much credit.
I understand. Africa works different than the United States of America. So
but saying the Caribbean is the same.
As you say,
the Caribbean
let me finish.
Is the same.
Let me finish. No problem. I agree. We work based off of families and networking. No sweat. But I'm saying in America, it works a little different. A poor man who doesn't have those connections can become a wealthy man because there are economic animals in place where you could become wealthy even though you don't have them connections. For instance, and I'm gonna give you an example. There's a man named Ronald Reed. For the majority, and y'all can look this up if y'all want to. For the majority of this man's life, he was a janitor and a gas attendant. And when he died a multi-millionaire. Why? Because he had the financial literacy and know-how enough to know how to use that little bit of money and use compound interest. So by the end of his life, he was able to leave millions of dollars to his family. That doesn't happen in Africa, as you just described, because it works different on the continent. It works different in the Caribbean. That's what I wanted to see.
But Juana, can I say something to you? We've got people in that.
Let me tell you.
I'm gonna tell you about a relative of mine and how far we go back. So, in the 1950s and the 1960s, I don't know if Colin can remember this. Back in those days, and you go to Manhattan, the big thing was hot nuts. You remember that? Hot nuts.
I remember pickles.
They used to sell them on the street. like hot nuts.
Oh yeah,
like,
in the bag, right?
In the little bags, right?
Yeah, but in the 70s they still had them.
In the 70s they still had it, but back in the 50s, I had a cousin named Peanut Alex. Peanut Alex was in Life magazine. He couldn't read, he couldn't write, he was illiterate, came from the South, but what he had was a connection, because back in those days we had a lot of peanuts on our properties, and our family used to send him the peanuts, and he would take those peanuts and heat those peanuts and sell them by the bag right there on the street. And he made over $1 million. He was in Life magazine from being a millionaire, right? He didn't have financial literacy. The thing that he understood later on, he did. No, he didn't. The thing that he knew that he did was he was able to get his supply, right? There was a demand. He met that demand, and he didn't have to deal with the middlemen to get his product. He was getting his product, which was peanuts, which was, I'm telling you, he's not, because later on he went back and lost everything, being a fool, messing with politicians and all kinds of nonsense, okay, and lost his money. But what I'm trying to say to you is he made $1 million or more on the streets of New York just selling peanuts, because he didn't have to go to the middlemen, to the white guys, to buy peanuts. His family would send him the peanuts and stuff, and the Brazilian nuts and the macadamia, not the macadamia, Brazilian nuts and the hazelnuts. They would send it from their property down in South Carolina, and he would sell them right there in the streets of New York and made plenty of money.
Yeah, but Dollar Bill, you just describe it. You are describing financial literacy. You're describing the idea of cutting out the middleman first and foremost. You describe finding a source that is cheaper, bringing it from the South instead of buying it retail. That is intelligence. That's financial literacy.
No, he wasn't stupid.
That's a part of it.
I didn't say he was stupid.
Yeah, that's a part of
but
it.
What I'm saying to you,
cutting out the middleman is not financial literacy.
Financial
if you
literacy
are buying, I'm not talking about the formal sense. If you have the wherewithal to go to the source and cut down the middleman, that is a financially smart business acumen to do some certain things like that.
That's a smart business idea. That's not financial literacy.
If you want to say that, that's what you want to say, bro. I study the subject. I noticed.
Well, you know what it is.
When you're talking about financial literacy,
wealth.
When you're talking about financial literacy,
that wealth to do the right thing with it, and eventually ended up trying to corrupt some people down there and acted like a fool down in South Carolina. But what I'm saying to you is, if he had financial literacy, he would have been able to build a legacy for his family.
No, but when I say financial literacy, I don't mean that you are a professor in understanding all the animals when it comes to economic education. I'm saying that some of us don't have any of those tools. Some of us are completely illiterate. And to the degree that some of us do have some business acumen and financial literacy, we are able to do great things with it. That's what I'm saying. If a man, y'all just mentioned Golden Crust. If a man could come from Jamaica, selling potty, and then commercialize it in such a way that it's almost like a franchise. It's almost like
he made it into a franchise
all around New York City. It takes some degree of financial acumen and literacy to do those things. And I'm saying to you,
I don't agree with you. All I think,
no sweat. You don't have to agree. But I'm saying that some of us have that to some degree. Some of us has little to none of that, and some of us have a whole lot of that. And I'm saying that we need to invest in trying to understand, what it takes financially, understanding financial language and becoming financially literate, because many of us.
Oh yeah, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with information. There's nothing wrong with getting information and learning. But the whole thing is, what I think you're glossing over in both of these two instances is that he realized that there was a demand, right? And he wanted to fill that demand. He was able to fill that demand. See, the guy in Golden Crust, he had a business plan, and no one believed in his business plan. No one. But he got his brothers and sisters together, and they took out a home equity loan, and they were able to give him his money so he could do proof of concept, right? So just like my cousin who was able, he knew that there was a demand for people who wanted these salted hot peanuts, right then and there. People don't do it no more, but back then there was a demand, and he was able to get his cousins and his family members to send him the materials so he can cut out the middleman. And he sold, I think he only had 3 fingers on his hand. I think he was missing like 2 fingers, but he was able to sell these nuts and make money, right? He sees the opportunity.
Sure.
That's all.
Yeah, and like you say, that there has to be a market for it. And the Golden Crust situation, which you just described, the reason why I think that popped off is there was a market for it. It's a whole lot of Jamaican people in New York City, whole lot of Caribbean people who even understand what a patty is before even addressing the American market. Before even trying to sell to an American market, you have to. The Caribbean community knew enough about what a patty is, a Jamaican patty is, to want to buy that. So you have to understand that a market exists first and foremost before it become popular, among other kinds of people.
But there were other people who were doing the same thing. He wasn't the only one doing it, and he wasn't the first. But what he thought about, what made him his idea genius, was the fact that most of these places were mom and pop shops. They were making good money. And I know people who have better patties than him, right? Off White Plains Road, who have better patties than Yeah, much better. Much better. I know one right up on makes the best patties ever. And they never branched out. What he decided to do was to take it and use a franchise model. And so he was brilliant. He was able to take it from a mom and pop shop. There have been plenty of mom and pop shops that people have been selling patties in New York, especially on White Plains Road, for a long time. That's where he was from our old neighborhood. But he took it to the next level. He said, well, if I do it like this and I use McDonald's or one of these other franchise, I can franchise my idea and I can supply them. See, he realized that if he did it uniformly, and he made the patties himself, and he would supply them, he can make more money supplying and franchising to the franchisees than a person could make just being a mom and pop shop.
Yes. But Dollar Bill, man, it's awesome talking to you, bro.
Yes, my brother.
You and Kala, y'all talk about sometimes y'all talking about making things practical and making things real. And because Kala opened up the discussion to government contracting and procurement, spark my interest. We ain't speaking Wakanda business. We ain't speaking fairy tale. We speaking real. We having a real conversation. So that's why I really wanted to just click in and
I got a guy who wants to come on. I think I know who this is. Why not? Brace yourself for some ADOS FBA.
Oh, not them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say good night to y'all, bro.
Welcome to the panel, brother.
Good night to y'all, brothers.
Good night, my brother.
The camera see what it looked like. I thought you would keep the camera on. I like this. So, what you call it? I think he wanted to speak to Buana. All right, guy. Yup, whatever your name is. Go ahead, speak, bro.
Hello. No, I'm fucking with you, nigga. What up?
Yo, I'm not your nigga. That's one thing, right? How about that?
You my nigga.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not your nigga, bro. I don't know you. I don't like you. How about that?
I mean, I don't care for you either.
Out of here. You're out of here. I ain't got time for that,
Yeah, that's that same creep.
Yeah.
Comes on here and cuss me out because I said that, that it was safer for me in a Caribbean community than it was
Either one,
African American. It's just a fact.
Tell me, average. Are you afraid of me? Who's afraid
of you for what, man? You're afraid of yourself.
Afraid of your freaking goofy ass whatnot. Ain't Africans sitting there laughing at you, man. Somebody's supposed to come over here and be afraid of you.
You know what? The thing that we're also missing besides the proof of concept was the fact that he was able to get money from his brothers and sisters who own a home, right? Goes back to the equity, right? They were able to take out $100,000 a piece or more and give it to their brother and invest in him when the banks wouldn't invest in him. And he was able to use that proof of concept to become a multi-millionaire. That's the biggest issue. If banks, you see a lot of people who come from these other countries, if they're able to be together and work together as a group and pull out that kind of money and open up a business, right? That shows that the men and sometimes the women too have a different relationship with one another, right? So we can say, hey, I can take out 100,000. I can take out 200. You can take out 200,000, and we can go to Africa and say, listen, now we got enough money, $500,000 or $1 million to where the government's going to deal with us directly, right? The Chamber of Commerce is going to give us all of these things that we need to engage in business, right? And we can get government contracts and stuff like that. Then we can make money. See, that's when I talk to people about that.
I thought about that. Look, the bottom line is, on the African side, we have to have mechanisms in place to protect our investment, man. Because I really don't trust,
of course,
these people over there. You know, I don't, because I think they think money grows on trees over here. They think they could steal from us or stonewall us and everything. That'll be all right, because we just got hundreds of thousands of dollars to pull out of our ass every time. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that there, like you said, Goa, there are other places that will insure our business, but we don't do business correctly.
Right.
See, I was with the Dr. Harnett group for several years, and in there we used to have, like, every weekend somebody would come from various countries, and there would be the people who were in the business sector, in the Chamber of Congress, commerce, and they would actually tell us what they wanted from us, right? That's one. Everybody wants to go over there, wants to get a damn Airbnb. People don't need Airbnbs.
Yeah, people always want to get into real estate. Come on,
right?
Man.
They have certain things that they want. They know, they're not stupid. They know what their country needs, right? And if you have the money to open up the business, right, they will give you set asides. They will give you all of this stuff, but they know that you're for real because you have a certain amount of money in the bank, right? Or you have to either have it some in the bank, or if it's in machinery. They know exactly what they need and what they want from us in terms of business. And I used to fight Baruti with this all the time. I used to say, our people are not serious, right? Because if they were serious about business, we'd be approaching people, with real proposals and deal with the government straight up, and have our stuff insured where we could do real business.
The Overseas Private Investment Corporation, you heard of that? OPIC?
Yes.
You know, they insure businesses. I asked last night, I said, well, Kyle, you man, I said, look, I tried to start a year, so it's $5,000 to join, you know?
Yes.
I would like for the BAO to one day get an account, you know? So anybody can use it, you know. You could that's not just one time. Once you're a lifetime member, you can do multiple requests, you know, for loans and stuff like that. And they fund stuff like that in developing countries, you know. They insure it, back it up, guarantee it.
And that's how business is done.
You when you have that sort of power, then you can go to Nigeria, Liberia, and say, look, we want to build this right here, but right here we want to build also a housing community right here adjacent to this business park, this commercial zone, this industrial zone. We're gonna do all stuff like that. That'll create jobs. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody's happy. You're making money, and we also have our own micro stock exchange, you know, and stuff like that for raising capital, you know, globally. You know, that's pegged to all the stock exchanges around the world. That's the next best thing. And we get a country that we can put our own stock exchange up, and that's pegged to them. But we have no black people in America that do stuff like this, you know. No black.
Well, you know what it is? The people who are doing it in America, they're doing it in America, and they're not thinking about Africa.
That's what I'm saying. You're right. You're right. That's the hardest thing. Like I said, I tell these Africans all the time and say, yo, look, I'm fighting for you guys. I'm fighting for this one night. You guys fight me. You know, the hardest thing is going to be convincing black people who are winning in America why they should invest in Africa, you know, because it's such a risk. The only people that want to go to Africa are the people just who are black nationalists, you know, a Pan-African black nationalists. The average black person, like I say, are trying to grab a piece of the $30 trillion economy of America, you know, and rightfully so. I can't tell them forget about America and go to Africa. When I keep seeing like the bag film, I keep seeing people taking L's on the continent. You know?
Yeah, they're playing in the dirt, and I don't blame them for trying to want more for themselves, but I don't think that they're doing it the right way. But I mean, it's their prerogative, right? That's what they want to do. Is their prerogative.
What do you think about that? The kids want out, right? They want to come back to America. They have no way to get back. They're only paying the kids $1 a day.
Well,
what did the Bag family do in Gambia? What kind of business they run?
They don't have no business in Gambia. They live in subsistence. They're starving.
Well, they got a farm, right?
No, on that farm. They don't grow anything. They just grow some beets and some stuff like that. They eat themselves, and the kids are there working like slaves around there, And so the bottom line, it's just really bad. Watch that last video. Kiki Loves Nigeria. She broke it.
So they don't have no business at all?
No,
they're just a YouTube family.
Everything like the money they make the money off the Patreon. What's it called? Patreon.
Right.
It's sad, man.
Well, you know what it is too.
Empire, future. The dude's a fool. He's a felon in America, right? He got like a lot of convictions and everything. So they went over there in the wrong spirit, That you
hey, I'm a felon. Don't do that to me.
Well, the bottom line is, some people are lucky. You're lucky to run out yet. Ricky was a stupid felon, He basically, if like I said, his best would stay in America and got a job with the sanitation department.
Well, I don't like. To be honest with you, I'm not interested. Kiki, I think she's a little over the top.
Yeah, I don't like her either. But
I don't like her because she's so angry with them because they said something about how she looks, the woman, and she goes overboard.
Sweet Juicy Mama.
Yeah, Sweet Juicy Mama said something about her teeth. So she went out and got brand new teeth and everything.
Oh, I noticed that, man. Her teeth look much better.
Yeah, she's been on a vengeance against them ever since. And I don't think that's fair. And I don't believe everything that she says. Because I see the daughter, she's working and doing her thing. I don't know if one of the sons
works for them, man. The daughter works for them around that farm, whatever.
No. The daughter doesn't. She works. Kiki lies. The daughter has her own YouTube channel.
Yeah,
her name is Ricky Denise, and she has her own job, and she has her own apartment. So I don't believe her. What I do think is that they should try to get the children to educate themselves so they can take what they have to the next level. Right. And I don't think that the father, was saying, well, why should you do that when you got a multi-million-dollar business going? See, I suggested to him, I used to write into him all the time, and I suggested to him that other than building his house, he should, because he's got a lot of land out there, he should make it like a resort because a lot of people like him and want to come there to be around him, right? Because he doesn't know the language, so he doesn't know how to get out there. His son knows the language, but he doesn't get out there and know how to mingle with the people. His best bet would have been to get a resort so people can come from America and stay at his place. Yeah, and the food that he grows, and if he had some animal husbandry, all of that stuff can be produced on his land.
Animals or fish to feed his people, his guests and stuff like that,
Yes, that's how he's missing out.
You know what I'm saying? He's not. Some people just don't have it when it comes to business. They don't have that aha moment.
Yeah,
and everything like that. They don't have the aha moment,
But he didn't want to put nobody in an investment. He didn't want to get any partners. He wants to do everything on his own. And so if he was able to set up like those round houses, right? And make it like the round houses and have like almost like an echo type thing where people, he have electricity, he have water, but people could actually go around the property, walk around the property.
Yeah, like an ecotourism.
Yes, he could make plenty of money and he would have a thriving situation.
Built like a water park, have somebody invest in a water park. The Lebanese, just use them, a water park, stuff like that. Place like we have in Virginia Beach, right? We have this one farm called, I forgot the name of it, but in the wintertime, Halloween time, they have it's a farm, regular farm year round. But at Halloween time, they have the haunted house out there. They have the rides out there and everything like that once a year. It's really nice. He could have had something like that,
That makes money, right?
Yeah.
And then his children educate them. The other one, she's learning about hotel stuff because she's working at the hotels. Have those other children learn certain things and get into the culture and actually marry into the culture. He should be married. One of them kids should be married to
Ricky Denise, the girl. I think her boyfriend's Lebanese.
Yeah, I think he's half Lebanese or something like that, and half Gambian. But I'm talking about he's got 2 other sons there and another daughter.
Right.
They should be marrying somebody in the culture and start making some babies or something and get involved. And he could get a thriving business, have his own restaurant, have his own gift store, and supply. He's got plenty of African Americans that come there all the time to see him. But he's losing money because he's not lodging them.
Yeah, back in 2023 when they went to the Gambia, that's the last time Bomani said he's going to the Gambia. He said he went there and he went with the Bag family and whatnot. He never put the videos up though.
Okay, I think I saw him. They put a video with Bomani in it.
Yeah, okay.
Because I used to watch them, man, all the time, man. But they're not really using the situation the way they can because they don't really know enough or try to invest enough to learn how to do things themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They got people there and they're employing them, but it's almost it's not really a progressive thing. If they were able to build those little houses and have people come and visit them and have like that and have the local people come and have entertainment and do some drumming and sell some artwork, and work with the local
how about building an in-ground pool?
Yeah.
Stuff like that,
All of those type of things can be done and people would buy stuff from the Bag. You understand? He's got a good brand, the Bag, right? And they could be using that stuff from the Bag and bringing stuff to America, and people will be like, yeah, I want to go to Gambia. Let me go stay with this brother. I know it's going to be safe. It's going to be clean and all of those type of things he could have going on for himself.
Yeah, he could, but I don't know. Just
maybe it's beyond him.
It's beyond him. Probably is. Probably out of his reach. That's why I say you got to choose what country and the time and place to go there. Right. You can't go to Africa on an empty stomach. I'm adamant about that. You can't go to Africa hungry and destitute and whatnot and think it's going to work. You got to have a plan.
Yeah. So, all of those things we need to think about. But I was saying, if you did it as a business,
right.
This is what I used to tell Baruti all the time. And, if you do this as a business and you get together, it's not on everyone. You don't have to carry a big burden. Everything is delegated and you don't have to worry because you can have young people who want to go and live there and let the young folks who want to have that spirit to get out there and do that work, and build the stuff up. But you support them financially and spiritually and intellectually. That's what I was saying, but our young people are, I don't want to listen to these old people. Well, it's old people that run the world, brother. You better just listen to it. You talk about Warren Buffett, he's not 20 years old.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, not 20 years old. It takes a while for you to get money. It takes a while for you to get settled in the business. You know that. You're saying after 16 years, you're just now getting the fruits of your labor.
Just now. I never thought I would get here, man. To be honest with you, man. I talked to my partner today when he said he's looking forward to working with me and whatnot. This is big, man. If everything goes through, man, I'm going to be on a different level, man.
I wanted to sell insurance, man. Like I told you, when I was about 18 years old, I was going to sell real estate with the General Development Corporation. And then somebody had told me they were in insurance, man. And I was sharp, man, coming out of school and all that stuff as a young dude, had nice suits on, pretty, clean cut. So I wanted to go into the insurance business, man.
Yeah.
And get in. And I tried to get in, man, but I couldn't get in because I didn't have anything.
It was health insurance.
I didn't have nothing. No one was going to sell to me.
And property and casualty.
Yeah, nobody was gonna get in. It was people, they were looking for people, like that were pretty much established, that could, that actually could get out there and talk to people in different levels. I didn't have no credit cards, no nothing. So therefore, I couldn't get in.
New York is tough because the Jews, Italians, they got many decades of ahead of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I can do it now. I probably can go into my job and sell all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But back then, I was young, you know, I hardly have any hair on my face. And I didn't, you know, I was eager. I had the desire. Right. I wanted to get out there and do business on that level, but I just wasn't ready.
Insurance taught me insurance, and now I converted insurance to ITC, like information technology, because everything we do is through technology and everything like that. We're constantly making it easy for people to make their payments, to enroll, and stuff like that. It's all technology now, you know?
Yeah.
And so I got to study the latest technology and stuff like that. And that's what they want from us, my agency. You know, they say, well, we got clients that want to do this, want to do that, but you got to make it easy because they get frustrated. I said, no problem whatsoever. I said, cast your burdens onto me, you know?
Yeah, and you take them right through it and you hold their hand.
Yeah, that's exactly what, that's all I'm doing is go, like, hold their hand, go right through it, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, shit, I get lucrative contracts making like around $5,000-$6,000 a month per contract, you know?
There you go.
Bottom line is, I said, look, we'll do this nationwide. I said, our agency we got license in most states, right? Like agency got license. We all got license every place else, but I at least want to have a license in 10 more states, you know? And so I had a New York license, but it expired. I'm gonna get my New York license back. I'm Jersey, and I got Jersey. I need Pennsylvania. I need Maryland. I need Delaware. Those states right there. And I'm in Virginia. And obviously in North Carolina, I worked on North Carolina a lot, and I got Florida and South Carolina too, and Georgia.
Georgia, okay.
Diane Samir was in my downline one time. He never sold anything. He said he got into this tourism thing. You know, he's one of my agents. You know.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know he was doing some type of thing with this other guy too, with gold something.
Yeah, which we call a Fitzgerald. He's a nice guy, man, but he's another one. The dudes, see, like I said, man, let me tell you something, right? There dudes like Fitzgerald that studied. He's a really good person. He's inspirational, right? You know, oh, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. It is, but he gets caught up, so he believes it. When I bought into it, man. I paid carrot bars, and I paid $200. I never see no money out of it, right? But I said, Dice, man, what's going on with this, man? They make no money. He said, well, Kala, it didn't work out. I was all right, bro. It's all good, you know. But the bottom line is, you know, it's your people, so you forgive, you know. And move on. You know, I ain't gonna be
a lot of people who do that. Like I know a young lady, she's doing it. We grew up together, and she's really killing them, man. But she's got all these different connections.
Something went wrong. I know the concept actually should work, but something like I said, something just did not go out right with Fitzgerald and whoever he was dealing with on his upline. And I'm doing this other thing, DS Partners on the side, crypto, right?
Okay.
And them in a lot of crypto places, the government's trying to shut them down and whatnot, you know?
Okay.
And so basically, I had one of my agents, Paul, invested $40,000 in this shit, you know? I only invested a few thousand. He invested $40,000. I said, Paul, and aren't you nervous right now? He said, oh, I talked to Dr. Mike. He said everything will be all right. I said, dude, man, are you serious? You put $40,000. I would not bet $40,000 in nothing. I don't give a damn.
Believe it or not, I know a YouTuber, I'm not going to say his or her name, who lost $50,000 in their crypto. And you're going to know, it was crazy, right? And they didn't understand. Like, if you got let's say, for instance, they verify your address, right? And your bank accounts. You have to do all that to get in. Let's say, even if you're doing Coinbase. Say like you're doing Coinbase, you're investing on your own in Coinbase. They're gonna verify. But so let's say you're living in a part of Africa, right? But you're still doing your banking from another country. You can't verify it unless you got a VPN. See, then it's as easy as getting a VPN and placing your VPN, okay, where you do your business at. So if you're in Africa and you do your business in France, you set your VPN for France, and when they verify you, you get, they're verifying your money. I know somebody who just lost 50 grand because they were doing it in France, but they were in Africa, and they lost their money because they couldn't verify their account. Damn. So they just took the money.
That's crazy. That's why I said all this stuff y'all better think. We took points about going overseas and stuff. There's a lot to this shit, you know.
And see, people don't realize when you're dealing with certain banks. Like I don't know what Jonathan. You know, maybe Jonathan can enlighten me, but I know that a lot of these banks. Like I remember a couple of years back, maybe 10 or 15 years, people were investing in Africa in this. What's those nuts? The pistachio nuts, right? And so they had this thing online, and they were all getting together, and they didn't get scammed by the people who were selling it. The people from the bank took the money out. You got to realize. So if you deal in the bank in the United States, it's FDIC. So each account is insured by the United States government. You deal with these African banks, your money's not insured.
Yeah.
What's stopping somebody from just raiding your account and taking all your money?
In Nigeria, a couple months ago, this one Nigerian lady when they talking about, even though she said 50,000 naira, that's like it was like around 7,000. She was crying, but that's 7,000. That was her money though.
There you go.
My money out when that day coming in. The bank said there's nothing we could do about it. Somebody from the bank, you know, just to help themselves to a couple of zeros, you know, and put it into their own account and whatnot. You know, I'm like, damn. You know, that's, you know, I'm serious, man. That's really.
And that's the hardest thing. I couldn't take. I would have to deal with a country like Botswana.
Yeah.
That I know that my money's going to be insured, and it's going to be with another bank, probably in Europe, that I can get my money.
That when it really comes down to it, man, it's all about where you got to make the decision where you feel safe. I think Kenya's a good country.
Yeah, Kenya seems to be nice
and everything, but I can't do Nigeria and Ghana and all these other West Africa just now. You know,
in Nigeria they insure your deposits, but not up to the amount of money that we would have. So you keep majority of your money in dollars.
Yeah, so I can do it.
Yeah, and see, carrying all that money. So you know, in Kenya they have M-Pesa. You know, and so
that's good. I met when that first came out back in 2009, and M-Pesa came out. You know, digital currency. I thought that was spread to the whole continent. To tell you the truth, you know, it was kind of slow. Kenya was like the first country to really jump in on that. You know, that really changed the way Africa does business. You know,
and that's a good thing because now you don't have to walk around with all that money. Exactly. You're dealing with walking around with thousands of dollars, man.
When I'm in Liberia, right? I use SendWave, and I'm gonna buy something. I go, which all I do is say, use the bio reader, hook it up to their phone, and pay them like that through the phone. Or I can say, what's your phone number? And blah 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 blah. Next thing you know, I got it. Okay, go $25. I got it. Okay, give me my stuff. You know, yeah. So a lot of people in Africa are using that. That's a good sign. You know, Africa definitely has the technology. You know.
Yes. But everybody, it's not accepted, like you said, all across the continent.
Right.
And if it was, you know, it's easier. I mean, that would be great because they're you know, like I know like the Kwacha, right, in South Africa. I don't know what I got another phone that tells me how the currency has changed. But I'm just saying at the time I was interested in investing in the stock market, like $1 was worth like 13 Kwacha. But in order for me to do that, I had to wire the money into the bank. So like $40 just to wire the money.
Shit.
You know what? So
check us out. This clown's in the back chat going off. And stop acting like a little hoe collar. If it's going to be a hoe, then die in the minimum poll up this. I don't know whether they should I just go ahead and just ban this guy for good.
You know.
No, you get a lot of viewers. You get a lot of viewership from.
Let the idiot grow.
You need your haters, Collar. Without dissenting voices, your channel.
Moron, just sitting there. I'm not letting you on tonight, bro. You can stay back there all you want. You're not getting on, so I don't need that nonsense and whatnot. You're an ADOS FBA freaking troll. you know, and everything like that. You know, I don't know what the hell is your problem, whatever like that. You're not getting on my platform abusing like that. He goes, pull up the article. Something about Nixon war on drugs designed to criminalize black people. No, you're a clown, bro. Anyway, after everything I said tonight, right? Let's focus on getting a piece of the action. And he wants to talk about what Nixon did. I can't deal with that no more. You know, I don't want to hear nothing about the war on drugs, the crime bill, all that. It's not giving us towards people. It's making people like, yeah, I don't have to do nothing because Joe Biden signed the crime bill back in '94. You know, that's what I'm saying. Or I can't do nothing because Nixon did this back in the '70s. So what's that stopping you from getting a business idea to give it a business plan and doing procurement or whatever like that? That's money that to the general public. Are you part of the general public? Yeah. Then you have every right to bid in on contract and do service with the government too. That's your government too. You can make a good living on that, create a new black business class and everything. And I think some black people want to be in poverty. They want to be miserable. You know, I think that's, you know, that's
what they like it, man. They you know,
it's comfortable. It's comforting.
You know, what did Noam Chomsky said that it's a dance, right, with oppression. And so, you know, part of being oppressed is dancing with the oppressor, right? Yep. So they're engaged in that dance and they want to stay like that.
Exactly. You know, it's soothing, you know. But I can't dance with them no more. You know, I'm sorry. I can't do it. You know, I can't do it. I'm moving on to bigger and better things, you know. Or if I say, well, Kyle, you only said because your life is good. Okay. I'm guilty, you know. My life is going good right now, man. I want to be around people, like you said, playing golf, whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
I got to start. You ever been in Top Golf?
No, I haven't been there, but I've been to several country clubs.
It's expensive as hell, man. You get a bunch of people to go play. You got to save like $40 a piece. You know, you have a good time. They got good food, everything, bar, everything. And you're sitting up there and thinking, I want to go before the winter comes, you know, because it's cold out there when you're out there on that thing, you know. But usually this time of year, all our carriers, they treat us to these big events and everything because we're selling their products. Last year we did Top Golf, man. I had so much fucking fun, man, you know. And I said, I'm not that bad at golf, right? When we had a bowling event 2 weeks ago, I sucked at bowling, man. You know, I said I didn't get a whole year went by, I didn't practice, so I got my ass kicked by my agents, man. I was like, yeah, y'all been practicing, you know. Y'all been practicing, man. I was like, damn, throwing gutter balls and whatnot. I'm like, what the hell? You know, I was like, what the hell? But I would definitely want to play golf, man. I'll just go out there. I just play regular golf in the golf course. We got so many golf courses in Virginia Beach, man. You can just go play for the day. It's like $20 for the whole day. You get a caddy and all that, you know.
You know what it is? A lot of these people, right? They don't want to join society.
That I'm like telling people as a black nationalist, right? If you don't believe nothing I say, we can't sustain that no more. I need people to join society to get from society, still keeping core. That's why I created a social network. So it's black nationalists can get together because we know we got to go into society. But here we get together on our own thing and do our own, you know, thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. But I don't expect somebody when I say like I expect people to be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm in corporate world. I'm the only black in the room, and I'm doing this. I'm not gonna judge you. Why? Because I know you got to do what you got to do. Because you got to join society. You got to bring that bread home. You know?
There you go. And there's nothing wrong with you learning how to play the game.
And black people, there's nobody else saying that. You know? Nobody else saying that. They make it seem like, that's one thing I was disappointed with the Nation of Islam. Because you know for a lot of fact, a lot of those guys had jobs in the city. They'll give the Nation of Islam all their a third of their money. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And to the bottom line, they're like, yeah, you should build up, do for self and everything like that. But you weren't turning down that money when they were bringing home those city paychecks and whatnot. You know, you were like, you know, saying they're like, oh, the money's coming in. You know,
I seen how people go through. I remember I had a friend who was down with that Yahweh Ben Yahweh dude.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
down in Florida.
Yeah, I remember when I went to a meeting with him, and the next thing I know, brother had dressed up like Moses and stuff. And he came to my house, man, with a staff on and a turban wrapped around his head. And he says, yeah, man, I'm getting ready to go down there, man, and be with Yahweh. You know, so he sold all of his material possessions, all his stuff, man. He said, you playing around. You don't want to get down with Yahweh. I said, nah, man, I can't do that, man. I'm not giving up all the stuff that I got, man.
I ain't quite there yet, bro.
I came from the project, man, and we finally getting a little something. I'm not going to go down there to be with Yahweh, brother. I'm sorry. And he did, and he was selling products that back in those days, they had those Jerry curls.
Yeah.
So they had their own Jerry curl stuff, and they was
Yahweh people was selling Jerry curl cream when I
you
kidding me, man.
Nah.
Yo, that's funny, man. That's hysterical, man. You gotta give me some evidence, man. We gotta bring that to light, man.
They were selling Jerry curl gel. They were making it themselves down in Florida.
Yeah, because Jerry curl shit was real popular down there, man. You know.
Yeah, they had Jerry curl stuff in Florida, and then they had their own black Bibles with all of the prophets were in black.
That's so funny because all these people always start out like the Hebrew Israelites. They got a strong message, though. I give them that, man. I like the Hebrew Israelites because they've been saying some strong stuff, right? But they always start anti-Bible, then they end up adopting the Bible because it's black people like the Bible. So let's go co-opt the Bible for our own.
Yeah. So I had a friend down with the Ansar Allah community.
Yeah.
And this dude, man, told me that they put him in one section and his wife in another section, and they had to sell a certain amount of products. And if they didn't sell the stuff, the books and pamphlets and stuff, that they would beat them.
Yeah. Browbeat them and beat them. You guys come back. You better come back with a minimum of like $20 something a day. Minimum.
Yeah. So I've seen it all, man. Like
we and Dollar Bill have gone. We go way back, man. Ain't nothing you can tell me, man. I've seen it all. I know Black America through and through. You know, I've seen it all, man. Ain't nothing new under the sun. You know.
So these ADOS dudes, man, and these FBA dudes, they think that they're new.
Shit, you know, we got to deal with. You know, and then gets me is you got a lot of those dudes like trying to co-opt the ADOS FBA movement. You know, in their Hebrew like message, and I'm like, what the hell?
I think one of the dudes that's a freedman is something like wasn't he a Moorish something
or something?
Yeah. One of these dudes, man, he was down with them dudes with them fezzes on.
Yeah,
and they walk around.
Lord Abba.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was on that. So Colin, that's why I like debate you, Colin. You always trying to clown somebody. You know, it was funny. I said, Abba, don't go nowhere, man. I just need to speak for you. Like, nah, Colin, you think everything's a joke. You always trying to clown somebody.
Yeah, he probably don't wear them hats no more.
No, man, because I had to have a field day on them shits, you know.
You remember a couple of years ago, they had these old Moorish stuff, and I knew
I remember Abba had his pajamas on, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
They walk around with that red fez on,
and the red pajamas on,
pajamas, and talking about this is a Moorish something, and they don't have to pay taxes.
Oh, so you see the thing, Dollar Bill? Like I said, grab a piece of the action, but they go out the wrong way.
You go.
A house over in somewhere and they go bum rush the house, grab it, and occupy it. When Colin said, grab a piece of the action. I didn't say do all that, you know. And in the house, I never told niggas to do that shit, man. You know,
they get crazy, man.
No, it's hilarious, man.
Every 10, 15 years, you get these guys.
Yeah, it's like the sun, moon, and stars lining up or something, you know.
Yeah,
you guys come out of nowhere, you know. Like this guy, just dropped off because he knows we're about to clown his ass, you know. That's what he.
Now you're a third generation immigrant, and you didn't tell him where your family's from.
I had no idea that I was from the Caribbean, you know. I had no idea. I know I was born in Jamaica, Queens, and my parents came from North Carolina. My mother came one generation before my father from the same part of North Carolina. And Georgia, you know, and South Carolina and everything. That's all I know and whatnot. Now they're telling me I'm from the Caribbean, you know. I don't know.
You're a tether.
I'm a tether.
Nice to the tethers and all of this nonsense because you know where this drama and this BS is going because they have no end game.
They have no end game, you know. Just it feel good. It's like a drug. Heroin. We have a heroin. There's no end game. It makes you feel good and everything, but there's no end game to that. Other than you're gonna want more, and what I'm afraid is people want more and more of this stuff and whatnot, and it's going to become so dangerous. It's going to become dangerous because next step is going to be violence.
Yes,
that's what's coming next.
Yeah,
and a lot when it's to that point, it's too late.
And the thing that they don't realize is the African immigrant, the Caribbean immigrant. Those are not the people that are trying to kill you or trying to shoot you.
Exactly.
Who are coming after you? It's the other people who don't like you because you're black.
You're black,
Shout out to my man RBR passed away. You did you ever check out RBR, man?
No, who's that?
The real black brother. RBR used to come online, man. He was funny as hell. He passed away. He was
I know. You gotta send me some of his videos, some of his stuff.
Yeah, but the brother used to be screaming and yelling, even though he liked the Democratic Party. Yeah. But he used to say a lot of things that made a lot of sense.
Right.
And a lot of people didn't like the fact that he made a lot of sense. But this whole craziness where black people are turning on other black people and want to hurt other black people.
Look at our homegirl Chantel.
Oh,
she said, "Yo, were you on the thing with her and Mike went at it that night?
Oh man,
it was freaking funny, man. The information came on and opened up a can of whip ass. Mike opened up his can of whip ass, and they were just going at it. I was like, yo, that shit was funny, man. I was like, God damn.
Chantel needs to come up. Come on up, Chantel.
Come on up, Chantel. Tell us how you feel. Tell us how you really feel. You did not say your parents were born and raised in North Carolina. I did. How many times? Everybody know my story. My father's from North Carolina. My mother's from Harlem, right? My mother's father came from North Carolina. He came at the age of 21 in 1946 to Harlem, from Windsor, North Carolina, And then when my mother was a teenager, they moved out to Queens. My grandfather got a good job. Had a good job of kind of finally saved for a house. And right next to the house they moved in, my father's sister, my father came up from the South, was living with his sister, my Aunt Betty, and my Uncle Albert, right? And that's how my parents met, because they were both houses next to each other. They were the same age. And that's how they met. And then they went to the 64 World's Fair. You heard of the 64 World's Fair, right?
Yes.
My parents went to that, as teenagers,
Yeah, my mom and dad met each other in Harlem on 127th Street,
right?
Like in the late 50s.
My parents used to go to Carmichael's, the Jamaican spot, on Merrick Boulevard in Queens. Shut down now; they didn't open back up. But are your grandparents descendants of? Of course. I'm a descendant of free blacks, maroons, and slaves. All three. If you go to Elizabeth City, North Carolina, you see the black communities are real old. You could tell which communities were actually free during slavery. You could tell who was the descendants of the field black people, right? And you could tell who were the maroons that lived in the Great Dismal Swamp. My family.
Actually, if your family had people during the census time that could read, they were actually freed people.
Yeah, there was a lot of free people, but you could see the Creole people that were free, because they all when I was a kid, I say those people are very much like my Aunt Mamie. I said, those people are so highly educated and sophisticated. There's no way. I didn't dawn them. I studied. I said, yeah, they weren't slaves, Then I had other relatives that I know.
Were. Like I had a great grandparent. She was born into slavery.
Born in slavery. And you have some black family, and right in the same family that was born free,
There
and some
you go.
had no status, slave or free. They lived in the swamp, the maroons, So our history has never really accurately been told.
No.
My family's a perfect example of that. We're not all slaves on a plantation and everything. Some of us were free blacks. Some of us were slaves. Majority of my family was slaves, But I got a lot of family that were free blacks and stuff like that,
And later on, they brought the land and sharecropping.
Yeah, we still got land in North Carolina,
Yeah. And we still got a church. My family still got a church out there.
Yeah, in Weeksville. We still got a church in Weeksville, North Carolina, and right there in the freaking cornfields. A wooden church still out there,
And I used to go down there like you. I used to go from like 6 to 12. I would be down there, and I loved it, man. I loved it because I was in Winston-Salem back then. It seemed like the biggest place in the world. But I go there now, man. Winston is small. But back then, I thought that was the biggest place.
Yeah, I used to love going down south, man. That was the best thing. Spending the summers down south when I was a kid, man. It was the best experience, Going to my granddad's farm and whatnot, go picking apples at the apple orchard and the pear orchard, whatever,
Come on up, Chantel. So you can tell us how you feel. We're not gonna bother you.
You know, I'm telling you, how do you feel, Chantel? You know,
tell us how you feel, Chantel.
She thinks I have something against African American women. I don't. I love African American women.
I just think she feels slighted or something.
No.
Yeah, I think when you said you got an African wife, that took her to the next.
I can't help it. You can't help it.
That took her to the next level, brother.
I can't help it. Now, before they said be with a black woman, I said, okay, you know, I ain't gonna mess with no snow bunnies, right? Now I get with African women. No, she should be an African American woman. You keep moving the goalposts.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think she really feels slighted.
Yeah,
you know, she won't say it, but I think she's a little upset about that.
Yeah,
but
so
she's free to choose any man as she wants, you know.
Yeah, so the bottom line is, you know, somebody out there gonna love her. You know,
somebody's gonna love you, Chantel.
Leroy at the gas station, man. He been trying to get the longest time, man. You should get with that, you know. Stop blowing Leroy off, Chantel. You know, get with him. You know, y'all can go out there and you know, go to dinner. You know, y'all can go Dutch. Y'all can, or you can.
You know what amuses me? I look at a lot of these guys, right, going to Philippines and all these different places,
right?
And they could be dealing with a sister right here, man.
I'm saying, man, you know,
why didn't I try to hook up with a sister right here? I don't.
You heard about that brother that just went to Colombia and now he's dead?
Yeah, young brother, man, from New York.
Yeah, and dead, man. I say, dude, man, I know what I tell you what it is that dudes be hooked on those videos and porn.
Yeah,
you want that porn fantasy. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'll say it right on the show. I had a problem in my 20s with fucking pornography, and
we all did. You know what?
I'll come out in a minute, right?
They had the classics
I
out
could
there.
not look. I had decent girls, right? I did not want a decent girl. You know,
they had the classics out there. You were in the golden age, like the
I wanted Heather Hunter. You know, that's what I wanted.
Yeah,
I wanted Heather Hunter. You know,
you were in the golden age. I had a friend. He was her bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to bodyguard on Heather Hunter. But you know, the golden age of that was going on at the same time as the golden age of hip hop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The Vanessa Del Rio days, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah, so we were not appreciating the good girls. When I look at it now, man, there's so many women I could have been with. You know, I could have been married a long time ago to an African American woman, but I did not see that. My mind was poisoned. Don't think. Let me tell you something. Pornography. I'm not gonna say ban it because you're an adult. You can do whatever you want to do. I get that, right?
Right.
But understand that that really messes your brains up. When you say something messes you up, pornography really alters your reality, your perception of women, everything. You can't a normal relationship with a woman, like real women. It took me a long time just to get to real women, a female warmth, where I cherish an embrace of a woman, a hug of a woman, just sitting back talking, watching a movie, you know, because pornography had my head so screwed up. The only thing I could think of is just sex and, you know, stuff like that. And so when a woman didn't do that, I figured she didn't like me or she was boring, whatever like that. And I try to move on, you know.
Right.
After she does do that and then she wants to really get to know you, you know, and everything like that, you're like, you know, you're withdrawn. And then she realized that the only thing you wanted her for is sex. That's really ugly, you know. And I think, you know, I was unfair that I was like that with a lot of women, you know, good women, you know, that I messed up with, you know.
Well, you know, a lot of things have to do with your socialization at that particular time, you know. I was just lucky, man, because I met, you know, my significant other in school and stuff like that. And plus when I was young, like in my 19s and 20s, I used to date women from being from New York. You date a lot of different Caribbean women and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, so.
When I was in my 20s, you know, I only dated women like in their late 30s and 40s.
Yeah, me too. I didn't date young women.
I never dated women my age. It was like I'd be 24 years old and my girlfriend would be like 41, 42.
Because they cackle too much, man. And young girls.
Yeah, I wanted a woman, you know, because
they were immature, you know.
I know what I want. I want a sex, a woman. I know I was a man, right? And I was like, and you know, women like real beautiful women. They're still like girls, even though they be in their 40s. They're still like girls, and that's what turned me on. You know,
there you go.
I have somebody that look young, but she's mature at the same time. You know.
She knew what she wanted to do and had a direction.
Yeah, so I didn't have to do all that. So I had to do a young girl and whatnot. You know, I always dated older chicks and whatnot. You know,
that kept you from getting a lot of babies, man.
That's why I don't have any kids now, man. Because I've been always
having these babies,
man. I always dated older chicks, you know. So
when I got married, I got right into it and started having children. That's when my kids are, 30 and.
It wasn't until I was like in my late 30s and 40s that I started dating younger. Now when I got older, then I started looking at younger girls. When I was young, I did not want no woman that.
But it takes time, man. It takes time to make money.
Yeah, it does. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think people really understand.
The older women I get, as long as I was able to, like, I always looked nice, I dressed nice, I had a car. Yeah. And I was able to pay for dinner at least when that's all they cared about, you know.
It takes a while, and the only thing that helped me was that my family had a little bread, man.
Yeah. We
weren't rich, but we had a little something. Yeah. But other than that, man, it takes a long time. And when I think about how much, I survived with what little money I had, even raising my kids in the beginning, if I didn't have a family, man, if I didn't have a mother and a father. Yeah, man, I'd have been out of it, man.
Now I think about this right now. What I could have done when I was younger, right? I could have just, if I would have gave up all my partying and stuff like that, I made enough money that I could have married somebody my own age and had kids. When I wouldn't have no more fun. Everything back then was just fun to me,
Right.
Dating older women was giving me everything.
But she might have been divorced by now with 2 or 3 kids and child support and all that nonsense, man. You didn't want to go through.
I had a friend of mine, man. He went to jail over that shit, child support.
Yeah.
They came and got him, man, like 8 o'clock in the morning. But at this point, he didn't show up for court. And they sent a bench warrant out for him. They came and grabbed him one night, man. He did 6 months.
Oh yeah. Back in those days, they take everything away from you and put you in jail.
Now it's like Michigan, right? All the women have to do is say that's the father. He said one case where the guy was like, he proved that the kid wasn't his, but the court still say, well, you're the father because we can't find the father and he has to pay. That's messed up, brother. Whoever the woman says is the father, and they're gonna go after it. It's like, did you sleep with her? Guess what? You're gonna raise this. You're responsible for this kid now. It doesn't matter what the DNA says.
But you know what the funny thing was, man. Even when I was, when I actually we had like a 2-family house, and I moved my family to the first floor. You should have heard all of the stuff that some of my so-called friends used to say about me, man. Oh man, you live at home with your parents, this and that. And I was trying to explain to them, man, that's how you gain wealth, bro. I'd rather pay my parents' rent.
Black people, when you have an Italian guy, he's living at home till he's like 28, 29, till he's absolutely ready to move.
40,
40.
Italian guys don't move out until they're 40.
Black people, as soon as you turn 18, your pops is already like, yo, bro, what you gonna do, man? What you gonna do? You're a grown man. When I ain't taking care of no grown man, when you gotta get out.
Yeah.
And so you can't build no generational wealth or save any money or anything like that. You got.
If it was up to my pops, man, I love him. But if it was up to my pops, man, you would have threw me out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Even though I was contributing, because that's how they saw life.
That's how I saw it. You got to get out there on your own.
My pops left his house at 17 years old to join the service.
Yeah, my grandfather left when he was like 12.
Yeah. So when you look at those type of situations, it was an old saying back there: you get grown, you get gone.
Yep, that's what it is. Black people, that's something that gets to be changed. You never throw your kids out until they're absolutely ready. The bottom line, the kids too. Okay, you're living at home. You got to help out around the house and everything. It's just not easy, No,
it isn't.
It's not easy. It's not easy, but
and because we don't see it, like we don't
like
see
business,
it
like a business.
In our community, we don't really understand it, man. It wasn't really until I saw people from the Caribbean, man, being in like living in the house together. Grown people coming from Jamaica, and they all live in the same house.
And that's how they get ahead.
And that's how they get ahead. They're able to.
The Filipinos are like that,
Let me tell you something. When we moved from the project and we bought a house, We used to live up on the top floor, and we used to rent 3 bedrooms downstairs. And, you know, we did Section 8. We went out to other people, man. And all they ever did, man, was destroy our property. They would just destroy it, man. We had to throw people out. It was crazy. And we really didn't get anywhere until I moved down to the first floor with my family, and we was able to save. We knew that rent was coming in. I was working. She was working. That money was in the family coming toward the mortgage, and we were able to do a lot, you know, working together. And when I tell people like that, I want to get my own place, I want to do this and I want to do that, man. And I'm like, that's not how you prosper.
Right.
You know? And we don't understand that. These people live, when we moved, we were like the first Black people to have that house. And next to us on both sides were Italians. One lady, I'm gonna take you way back. One lady, we had like identical houses, and she told me her family, the old Italian lady, told me that her family paid $1 for that house. Now, mind you, she had been in there for 40 years before we moved there. And you know how she got it? It was the precursor to the lottery, the Irish sweepstakes.
Yeah.
Remember? They actually
like a lottery. They put the money in. People keep putting the money. It's like a susu.
They put up $1, and their family. She was I think her mother died there, her father died there, and 2 brothers. Only one brother left. He moved out and got a family, but everybody. One was an engineer. I don't know what she did, but everyone stayed in that family, kept that wealth in that family. And they never had to pay a mortgage. They only paid $1 to live in that place. Even when it turned Black, they didn't move until they
those were also the smartest white people. I remember when I was a kid in South Jamaica, Queens, there was like 2 or 3 white families on the block, right? I said, Mrs. Such, nice people. They'll say they're the white people. And I did not know. And I was always like, why do you live in this neighborhood on Black people? They said, no, they were here first. You know, all the other white people moved out.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, right?
And they refused to leave, right?
They said they ain't going nowhere, you know?
That's right.
We don't give a dang how many Negroes around me. They don't care. You know, there's white people like that. They're stubborn. They'll stay right there. You know, they don't care if the neighborhood's purple. They ain't going nowhere. They got a good thing. And they're like, they just whatever, you know? So we had that. And I was like, yeah, what are white people doing here and whatnot? And all of a sudden, my friend Billy used to be like, his grandmother used to always friggin' have stuff for me and whatnot. You know, she would buy me stuff. You know, she just took a liking to me for some reason, you know, Mrs. Neighbor, right? And also, he used to always say, yeah, my grandmother was here when the white people were here. I was like, what does that mean? You know, my grandmother was here when the white people were here. So
when it was all white.
It was all white, you know. I didn't know what that meant, you know. I said, you look around, it's like, number of Black people, block the block and whatnot. So yeah, they moved here. They were here when the white people were here. I'm like, okay, now
they saved their money.
Yep.
And like on the other side, like that was the lady to the right of us. The family to the left of us, they had like 4 or 5 apartments. Like it's like a little mini apartment building, and they owned it. And the guy, he was a school teacher. When they moved out, he was 40 years old. So you can imagine how long he's been saving his money.
Mm-hmm.
And he when he left, he was 40. All that money, he had already been in his job for about 20 years before he even paid, if he ever paid any rent, because they sold that, they probably purchased another property with the family money.
Yeah.
And so they were getting that intergenerational wealth, man.
Yeah, you get a leg up in the world, you know?
Yeah, and I don't think people really understand that. You know how much money these people got.
We always like we're starting off from scratch, you know.
Yeah,
every generation is starting off from scratch and everything. Anyway, Dollar Bill, I gotta get up in the morning when
all right, my brother.
But I'll be back on Thursday night. You know,
I'm here all week.
Tomorrow, I'm falling asleep. When I get off tomorrow night, I'm gonna be exhausted. I'm gonna sleep right through it. So I can't. I'm not giving promise a show tomorrow night, but I could try.
No problem.
But I'm definitely back Thursday and Friday. You know.
Thursday and Friday. I definitely do Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. I see my dad So
Okay,
I don't
no
know if I'll
problem,
be
man.
up.
Hey, take care of your dad, man. You know.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely spending as much time as I can.
Right.
Thank you, my brother. Peace.
All right, brother. Take care, Dollar Bill.
All right,
Dollar
you too.
Bill.
Now.
Always a pleasure having him. And good night, folks. Thanks for being with us tonight. I will be back on Thursday night and Friday night for some more interesting topics. Tonight's show was grabbing a piece of the action. I hope you learned something from tonight on that. Spread the show, spread the news. A lot of stuff was being discussed on these platforms and everything. People are like, yeah, it's ground, but I never like that. Yeah, I'm saying stuff nobody else is saying. So, but if you want more of this and everything like that, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. Anyway, this is College Genesis logging off. You have a good night.